doesn't mean you can't go out. Hey, that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and an exceptional taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. Enjoy responsibly. 2016 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams protein, 0 grams fat per 12 ounces.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stock index futures are declining as crude oil drops this morning, and investors assess the latest corporate earnings reports. S&P futures are down 6 points, NASDAQ futures down about 23, Dow futures are lower by 64. NYMEX crude is down almost 1.8% now at $49.07 a barrel. Shares of Apple are lower, down about 3% before the opening bell. Company saw its first annual sales decline in 15 years and forecast lower than expected profitability for the holidays. Coca-Cola shares are popping higher after beating estimates in the latest quarter. Southwest Airlines shares are lower following a mixed report this morning. Other companies reporting their results today include Boeing. It saw a profit that beat analyst expectations. The plane maker benefited from one-time tax gains and moderating production costs for its 787 Dreamliner. U.S. investors are also awaiting a report today on new home sales for the month of September. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
How'd you sleep last night? Was it a good sleep? Did you just catch mega Z's? I did. And you know why?
Franker.
Because I was on a Tempur-Pedic from Sleep Train. Cloud Luxe, to be exact, with an adjustable base, which occasionally I like to use because it feels good. And because it's kind of fun, you know, it's sort of like when you get into a car with electric windows to make it just go up and down. It was kind of fun to do that with the mattress, where it's just like, I'm easily entertained. And it's not often you can say, yeah, I've got a remote control for my bed. That's true. Rob, my understanding is, from what he said, he likes the vibro function.
Oh,
on the adjustable
every
base.
night.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The vibro. So you ought to head into Sleep Train, where you can see the latest in vibrating beds. You can get the best rest ever right there at Sleep Train. You can get it and have the best rest delivered to your home. The Best Rest event, by the way, is ending soon. And among other things, you're going to get $200 in bonus cash when you get a movable base. And that's good towards your choice of free delivery, pillows, sheets, you name it. You can get 4 years interest-free financing on Sleep Train's best-selling Tempur-Pedic or Beauty Rest Black mattress sets. Plus, you pay no money down. Make sure you give them a call for costs and terms, subject to credit approval. I'm thinking you need to get in there today. Just go in, walk in and say, I want to play with the remote control on the beds.
One thing you can't do is study or read on the bed, because it'll be short-lived. You'll be reading that book or whatever for like 5 minutes, and you'll be crashed out. If you're not getting good rest, go see the good friends, our good friends at Sleep Train, and they'll be a good friend to you as well forever. In Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, Salem, Albany, they're everywhere. Sleep Train. And tell them you're like this with the wake-up call.
Anything but typical. Anything but cliche. Anything but routine. The wake-up call on News Radio 1120. KPNW.
Hi, 6:32. Hello, good morning. Wake-up call. If your alarm just went off at 6:30, tell me a story. What's it like to get up at 6:30 and hitting snooze for 2 minutes, 2.5? I say, wait, another 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes and you can get your morning started without total panic. We'll be chatting with former SEAL about surviving not just the morning, but a bunch of stuff. Hey, who's getting ice cream?
Stan and the gang at DeCasa Fine Foods. Familiar with DeCasa Fine Foods?
No.
You're not familiar with DeCasa Fine Foods?
I don't think so. Should I be?
Yeah. They make great salsa and great bean dips. Now, those are the products that I know that I've tried. My understanding is they have other things, like they do tortilla shells.
Wait a second. No, I'm thinking of...
Their bean dips are awesome.
Are they DeCasa / Emerald Valley?
I don't know.
Because I think
now I got to Google.
Because the salsa bean dip that I have, it does have two names on it. There's like, I don't understand, but maybe that's them.
Well,
how cool is that? So maybe you trade them ice cream.
Well, I'm looking at a
They
picture
trade
here.
you salsa and bean dip.
No, I don't see anything about whatever you were saying.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Well, what did you say that it
bean
had?
dip. Well, no, that's another one that
Okay.
I enjoy. And they're in Eugene?
Mm-hmm. I know.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I had no idea either. We get their black bean dip all the time, and they're one of the few places that actually makes hot salsa that's actually hot, as opposed to what I call old person hot, which is just
that's real nice.
Well, it is. It's
so disrespectful.
That's true. It's old people. Most places make old people hot, which is barely spicy at all, and they call it hot. They actually, this has got some bite to it. What are you looking at?
No, I had to refrain and filter because I almost forgot that we're talking with more than 3 people listening right now. But okay,
15.
Yeah, and so DeCasa only has 10 to 15 people. I would think they would have a fortress. You're gonna have some interesting toppings on that ice cream today.
Yeah, hummus.
Yeah, black bean dip.
What is this? Marinated mushrooms? Ooh, marinated mushrooms and artichokes. I'm just looking at their website right now. They've got some cool stuff. Huh.
They are out of Eugene.
Yeah. Yep.
DeCasa, congratulations. You're getting ice cream delivered from this guy, and he wears the apron and everything. And
they have tortillas,
does
too.
A little song. KPNW, good morning. Welcome to the DeCasa Tribute Hour.
You know, you guys making me want hot sauce right about now.
Come on down. You can go to the ice cream social with Bill.
Sounds great. Hey, I'd like to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, please.
See if you have a little bit of a time. I know you guys, especially Bill, you've been really pressing on Measure 97. I was wondering, Bill, what do you know about Measure 95?
Refresh my memory.
Okay, it goes basically.
Oh, that one.
Take in equities. Basically, it says the measure allows investments in equities by public universities to reduce financial risk and increase investments to benefit students. You know, when I read that, I'm thinking, didn't they just raise tuition twice within 6 years, and they're trying to benefit students?
They've been raising it more than that.
Right.
I think this allows them to actually make investments, and I'm not exactly sure that would be terribly wise.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking no on this one because, wouldn't you, if you're going to school anyway, whether you're working for your education and or work, your parents have already worked for it. What does the public university have to do with anything?
What does the public university have to do with anything?
Well, as far as money, they keep taking money. Tuition, books, everything else that goes with it. So yeah. But like I said, I was going down the measures in '95. I was just had a question. Maybe you can study a little bit more and maybe jump back to it on the
I
air.
haven't sent my ballot in yet. And
yeah, neither have I.
And 95 was, now that you mention it, 95 was one of those I did want to look at more. All right, maybe we need to have somebody on the show to explain it.
Okay, appreciate it. And as usual, it's good talking to you guys.
Good talking to you too, man.
You almost sounded convincing there. We got a break. Former SEAL coming up next.
Midgley's makes it easy to stay green with your next stove or fireplace insert. Blaze King features wood stoves that can burn up to 40 hours while effectively heating 1,500 to 3,000 square feet. Their reduction in emissions helps protect the environment. Midgley's is your exclusive Lane County Blaze King dealer. Check us out online at midgleys.com. We're at the corner of 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
Ductless, ductless, ductless. It's an option, but it's not your only option. Contact Pacific Air Comfort, your local Carrier factory authorized dealer, to explain the problems with your home or business's heating and cooling system. Turn to the experts, and their professional staff will listen and offer you a good, better, and best solution for your heating and cooling system that addresses your needs. Let them make you Pacific Air comfortable with new Carrier equipment. Pacific Air Comfort. Quality system design, quality Carrier equipment, quality installation, and outstanding 24/7 service and repairs. Visit PacificAirComfort.com. That's PacificAirComfort.com. Or call 541-342-5300. That's 541-342-5300 to receive Pacific Air Comfort's award-winning service today.
Brad's Cottage Grove Chevy GMC. Low prices and award-winning service.
Oregon's game Megabucks jackpot is over $5 million. Buy yours today.
In my line of work, I'm trying to make a difference. Not $1 billion, but I want to save for the future, too. So this year, I partnered with TIAA to help me map out a plan. If I stick to it, I could have an income stream for life and maintain my lifestyle in retirement. Looks like a life of rewarding work could pay off for a lifetime.
Your personal success takes a financial partner who values it as much as you do. Learn more at TIAA.org.
It's been said that to do a job right, you've got to do it yourself. And that's exactly how we feel when it comes to creating our WeatherTech floor liners. I'm David McNeil, founder of WeatherTech. Nothing will protect your car, truck, or SUV against the elements better than WeatherTech floor liners. And they're made right here in America. Protect the front, back, and even up the sides of your vehicle's floor with WeatherTech, the ultimate vehicle protection. To learn more about our full line of automotive accessories, go to WeatherTech.com or call 1-800-CarMats.
KPNW weather, brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We had a warm front bring moderate showers to the region overnight. Already picked up about a ½ inch, and I'm still tracking a few isolated showers off and on, and they look to continue throughout your day. Right now, we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temps are in the upper 40s to low 50s, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10, few gusts up to 15. And we do see those shower activities continuing into your afternoon. Now, the warm front will push up into Washington, but we're already seeing the cold front not far behind that. That means a 90% chance of showers this afternoon, kicking back into the evening. Otherwise, highs will be in the upper 50s to low 60s, 62 here in town. Wind shifts south at 5 to 10. A few gusts up to 15 this afternoon. We are looking at gusts of about 30 to 35 on the coast once the cold front moves on shore. But it's going to be a slow-moving cold front. That means showers tonight and then a good portion of tomorrow. Now, we're locked into this pattern because the jet stream arcs down almost to the equator, then comes back up the west coast. And the jet stream is basically the highway system that keeps bringing storm systems to us every 24 to 36 hours. The latest data suggests this wet pattern looks to continue right into your weekend and early next week. Simply put, grab your umbrella. You're probably going to need it. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Holloway in London and the Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120, KPNW.
19 away from 7 o'clock. He is a retired Navy SEAL. For 2 decades, he was involved in special ops all over the world with SEAL Team 3, the NSAA, and the SEAL Team 6. His book is called 100 Deadly Skills, the Survival Edition. It's published by Touchstone. Clint Emerson joining us on the Wake Up Call. Clint, great to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. How's it going out there?
Excellent. How are you? You're Texas whereabouts, right?
Yeah, North Dallas.
Okay. I was curious, looking through the book and kind of thinking about what you went through for the better part of 2 decades and special ops and highly classified events, all over the world. When you came back to, say, civilization, where you got to see everybody kind of how they exist day to day, were you baffled and amazed at the lack of, we'll just say, non-existent preparation and environmental awareness of everybody? I mean, I'm always just astounded to the point where you see like people walking across the street and they don't turn over their shoulder just to make sure there's eye contact, so people are slowing down so that they don't get hit by a car.
Yeah, I mean, I've been out. I retired probably, it's been 1.5 years now, and Interestingly, it's not a big, for at least SEALs, it's not a big culture shock to switch out of the military to the civilian life, especially when you've been traveling the globe as much as we do. So when you see all the different cultures around the globe, I would say it's better to compare, like, okay, how are we compared to everyone else? And there's some countries where everyone is paying attention and staring at you or staring at each other because it's part of their culture.
Right.
Our culture here is really, a little more relaxed. We all have our 3-foot bubble that we're concerned about, and then that's about it. And we've let technology, it's part of our culture, we've let the technology kind of take over our basic instincts, and the whole reason behind putting this book out was to get people to start looking around, paying attention to some things, and hopefully be a little more prepared for when crisis strikes, any given moment. And that's kind of it tackles, this particular book tackles all the headlines, and giving everybody a playbook, if you will.
See, I would even challenge the 3-foot bubble. I mean, you say that people are concerned about the 3-foot. I would even challenge that, thinking that people are. I mean, if anything, their smartphone. What is that? They have a 6 to 7 inch bubble.
Yeah, it's from your eyes to the phone, right? Depending on how far the phone is away. Yeah, no, you're right, and it's unfortunate, but I'd say culturally, there are some other countries that are far worse. I remember sitting in a movie theater back in like the 90s in the Philippines, and there was this blue glow on everybody's face inside the movie theater while the movie was going, and I was thinking to myself, holy crap, I'm not that attached to my phone, and it was amazing to see. You compare it to now. Now we are those people. We're doing the same thing now.
I'm curious. You talk about people being prepared, and let's assume that you have the average American who maybe has their go bag with the first aid kit and some food and water and medical supplies and so on and so forth. Even if they have the proper gear, is the average American going to know how to use it and still be able to survive? I would almost challenge the idea that the average American could even figure out how to use a first aid kit.
I mean, it's difficult to concur, but it's the one thing that's for sure is you train how you fight, fight how you train. That's kind of a mantra in our community. Now, of course, when you talk about being prepared and responding properly to a crisis event, you got to do kind of the same thing. You got to pull the bag out. You got to do like refresher training for yourself. You got to make sure things work. You got to make sure batteries are fresh. There is a certain amount of checkups you have to do from time to time, but I agree, some of these skills are perishable. Just like when you go camping and it's been a year, you pull out the old gas stove and you got to remember how to light the thing, and it's kind of the same deal. You have to use it and you have to play with it in order to be good at it.
Is there such a thing as a survival class where you can go and actually learn some first aid skills, some necessary survival skills when the inevitable or the potential hits the fan?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff out there by different adventure-oriented companies. I know I got hit up a lot this past year with the first book to run a course. So in 2017, we'll be running some 100 deadly skill courses, spread out around the country. But I think it's important people, once again, know the basics. There's another mantra in the SEAL community is what makes us advanced is we master the basics. You don't have to, you have to just be really good at some of the little things in order to, get through almost any event. It's just a matter of doing it. It's not rocket science or anything of that nature. It's just about controlling the two variables that we all can control, and that is being prepared and having a proper response. Whether it's, like the book covers ransomware attacks and virtual kidnapping. So, the first key to prep is what are those? Defining them, knowing what they are, knowing what their characteristics are, so that you can avoid them altogether.
The book is 100 Deadly Skills, Survival Edition. Clint Emerson with us. Let's start with skill number 1, because I thought it was pretty interesting, becoming crisis-proof. I would say, in addition to having, say, a dummy wallet and lace-up shoes and a $100 bill in your shoes. Mindset is just as important. Being aware and observant is a huge start.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I cover that in the narrative a little bit about, your personal awareness, situational awareness. The personal awareness piece is the difficult one for most of us, which is your projection and demeanor management. Like, what am I saying to everyone around me without saying a word? And it's based on what you wear and how you carry yourself. That is all ego-driven. We all strive to be different than the person next to us, but unfortunately with that, it makes you sometimes stand out, and then you might be attractive to bad guys, especially for females that want to look a certain way. It's awesome, obviously, for us men, but it sometimes draws on, the bad guys too, and so you have to kind of balance a little bit of how, you might dress or might do certain things so you're not targeted inadvertently.
Number 45, fortifying your home security. You can protect your house without, expensive security systems, yes?
Correct. What I did the reciprocal of what I did for a living, right? I sat there and I look at targets and determine their vulnerabilities and then come up with a plan on how, we would approach that target and deal with that target. So I put in basically, all my lessons learned on how to make your home far less desirable to a bad guy. Because let's face it, SEALs traveling the globe are bad guys in every country we set foot in. So it gives you kind of the tips to keep people away from your place and move on maybe to a more vulnerable home.
Give a couple of ideas on what kind of things you could do to make thieves go, yeah, I don't want to deal with this place.
Well, the first one is, it takes a village, right? We don't talk to our neighbors anymore, but overseas, sometimes approaching a target, people knew we were coming, miles away because everyone's paying attention, looking out their windows and communicating with one another. That goes a long ways. So if something strange is going on in the neighborhood, you see something, you tell someone. That's first. Second, illumination, right? Bad guys that come during the day while you're at work, they want your belongings, they want your stuff. Bad guys that come at night tend to want you or something to do with you. So you want to illuminate your house from the outside. That perimeter should be lit up. Any bad guy standing in that light will feel vulnerable and not want to, he'll feel naked standing in that light without a doubt, thinking someone across the street sees him doing something. So he'll skip your home just with the lighting and signage alone, and that's a big factor. It was a big factor for us, too. We never wanted to approach a target that's all lit up.
Now, you said signage, so go ahead and give the even if you don't have the security system, you talk about a security sign.
Yeah, you don't have to go and, have an actual security system. You can put signs and stickers all over your windows, and it's deception at its finest, and it works. You want to leave question marks, a lot of question marks inside the mind of a bad guy, and that'll push him away from you. If you have a garage, use it. Put your vehicles in the garage. If you get used to parking in your driveway and they pay attention to that, cars in the driveway, cars in the driveway. Oh, car's not in the driveway now. That's going to say you're not home. But if your car is always kept put away and they observe that, then they're not going to know when you're home or when you're not home. So, and then for all the females out there that live alone, put a pair of size 12 boots in front of your door, and that'll keep any of those other sexual predators away as well.
And you say no hide a key.
Yeah, hiding a key is a bad idea. Bad guys look for that. I've looked for that outside of targets, whether it's fake rocks or under the doormat. If you got to leave a key somewhere as a backup, leave it with a neighbor you trust.
Let's talk about something maybe you would need in Oregon, and that's surviving a snow blizzard, number 76. What's the best case for survival if you were to come across a blizzard?
Yeah, a lot of times, every year we hear, especially the natural disaster side, you can live in the most urban environments and still feel just as stranded as if you're in the wild, and especially in our vehicles. And you hear about people freezing to death in their cars and things like that. So what I've done is broken down the fact that, you're in your car, you, should have your basic life support once you're going into these different seasons. We know the rule of threes. You can go 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. But why not make sure you got a case of water in the trunk and some food, because that'll go a long ways. As far as warmth, you got to get creative. If you don't have any warmies or any blankets or anything in your vehicle, you've got floor mats. Floor mats are made of rubber. As soon as you start putting these things all around you, it's going to obviously keep the heat in, body heat in. You can use them as blankets. When it comes to running your vehicle, you can have hazards on during that moment to get people's attention, let them know you're sitting there. You can run your engine, every 30 minutes or so, but you want to conserve on gas, and you don't want to get out and try and go find a way. Most people that leave their vehicle, or what we call dismount, end up, found dead a couple of days later and only a mile away. So stay in your vehicle, stay where you're at, try and communicate, obviously, your location and let people know, and then conserve on the gas and increase heat by covering yourself up with everything in the vehicle.
What's an EDC?
That's your everyday carry, and that's becoming more and more popular. There's hundreds of Instagram accounts that's all about EDC, and it basically it's a picture of somebody's hand and everything they're carrying that day. It could be a gun, a knife, a flashlight, some tactical pen. I go over all the different kinds of EDCs for all the different environments and for all the different crises. So if you live in Florida and hurricane season's coming, I basically give you the inventory of what you need. If you live in the north and you got thunder snow on its way, then you've got the kit for that as well. So I try and break everything down in the book, telling you what you need, because that's proper preparation, and then giving you a plan so that you respond and increase your odds of survivability or without injury, or just maintaining your everyday business.
You researched and got, I'm sure, had more than 100, but you kind of whittled it down to 100 survival skills. Which, out of curiosity, is your favorite? Is there one that kind of has special meaning to you that is kind of dear to your heart?
That's a tough one. There's some that are my favorite because of the way the illustrations turned out. Like, take out a hijacker, for example. I like how the illustrations came out for that one, and I think it's a great skill. But also, preventing and surviving an express kidnapping. And then, of course, all the homes. I mean, I've got a bunch of favorites, I guess. I can keep going and going, but,
Yep.
Is he there?
You still there, Clint?
I think he disappeared.
That's not our phone. All right, Clint Emerson. The book is called 100 Deadly Skills, the Survival Edition, on the Wake Up Call. All right, hour number 2 coming up. Stand by, it's 11:20 KPNW. Lease Wheel, about a half hour from now.
Sitting down, reaching out, listening. There's not much of that in politics anymore. But that's what Arnie Roblin's always done. As co-speaker of the Oregon House, Arnie led a bipartisan coalition to close a $3.5 billion budget shortfall. In the state Senate, Arnie Roblin keeps bringing people together to increase education funding to $7.4 billion and support Project Independence so more seniors can get the home care they need. The Register Guard endorsed Arnie Roblin, saying he has an unmatched record of working with a broad range of people to better the lives of coastal residents. But what about Republican Dick Anderson? As Lincoln City Mayor, Anderson bullied his neighbors by trying to forcibly annex their houses. Dick Anderson opposed increasing the minimum wage, and Dick Anderson was against paid sick days for Oregon workers. The difference is clear: a bridge builder or a bully. Who do we want in Salem?
Paid for by friends of Arnie Roblin.
50 cents doesn't get you much these days, but at Guarantee, 50 cents is all you need. This is Shannon Nill, your discount dealer at Guarantee in Junction City. We first opened our doors exactly 50 years ago, and on behalf of the Nill family, a heartfelt thanks for all the support for the past 5 decades. Now, we're throwing a huge party, and you're getting all the gifts. During Guarantee's 50 Ways to Save celebration, you can buy a dozen farm fresh eggs for just 50 cents, with all the money raised going to local 4-H kids. Plus, you can buy a car, truck, motorhome, or trailer with a down payment of just 50 cents. And select motorhomes are discounted $50,000. Complete details are at Guarantee.com. It's a 50-year tradition. Eggs are cheaper in the country, and so are good cars, trucks, motorhomes, and trailers. But that's only at Guaranty, 5 minutes north of the Eugene Airport in Junction City.
All credit on approved Tier 1 credit. 50-cent down payment valid on purchases up to $100,000. See dealer for restrictions and list of vehicles qualifying for $50,000 discount off MSRP.
The Wake Up Call with Holloway in London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Do you dance badly or hug in public? That's okay. You don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit adoptuskids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are declining in early trading as investors assess earnings and oil declines. The Dow is down 91 points, or 0.5% at 18,076. The S&P 500 is down 10 points, or nearly 0.5% at 2133. And the Nasdaq is down 28 points, a little bit over 0.5 percentage point at 52.54. Shares of Apple are down almost 4% this morning so far. The company posted its first annual sales decline in 15 years. And also issued a holiday period forecast that disappointed investors. Shares of Coca-Cola are up 0.5% after smaller packaging with larger profit margins helped the beverage giant beat estimates in the latest quarter. And that crude oil is down almost 2% this morning so far. Right now, oil hovering at $49.02 a barrel. One more check of the Dow, now lower by 101 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. It'll be over by this time in 2 weeks.
The polls right now for us are looking incredible, despite the fact that most of the media doesn't want to tell that story.
Eric Trump referencing 3 polls that have the race essentially tied. His father will campaign in North Carolina, where he may attack Hillary Clinton again for supporting Obamacare, which he says he'd repeal. Hillary Clinton will spend her 69th birthday in Florida. Fox's Evan Brown live in Miami.
Yeah, Dave, both Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton have been sniping at one another while campaigning here.
I've tried to run a campaign based on issues. He's run a campaign based on insults.
That's Clinton from yesterday, speaking at the Coconut Creek campus of Broward College. She'll have 2 events in Florida today. And a poll out this morning from Bloomberg shows Trump now with a slight lead over Clinton in Florida, just 2 percentage points, which is inside the poll's error margin. He's also ahead with independents in the same poll, Dave.
An accused killer continues to evade a manhunt in Oklahoma. Police think Michael Vance may have a hit list. He's already accused of murdering his aunt and uncle and wounding 2 cops on Sunday.
Vance is believed to have injured a man and a woman in carjackings on Monday. He may also be responsible for the shooting of a truck driver Monday night as he was trying to get a ride.
Fox's Kelly Wright. Police in Columbus, Ohio, still looking for a second suspect in a shooting last night that left a 2-year-old girl dead. 3 others were wounded. 1 collapsed in this man's driveway.
Blood and everything like that. And my kids have to see somebody collapse in front of my house like that. It's terrible.
Police did arrest 1 accused gunman last night. He's charged with murder. Subaru is recalling more than 100,000 of its top-selling models in the U.S. because a turbocharger air pump can run continuously, overheat, and cause fires. Ford's recalling 412,000 SUVs to fix leaks that could cause fires. And then there's what's going on at Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. A river rapids ride closed today as a precaution after a similar ride malfunctioned in Australia, killing 4 riders. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Did you know slow internet can actually hold your business back? Say goodbye to slow downloads, slow backups, slow everything. Comcast Business offers blazing fast and reliable internet that's 10 times faster than slow internet from the phone company. Say hello to fast internet speeds up to 150 megabits per second. Plus, did you know that in addition to fast internet, you can also add TV and phone for your business for just an additional $34.90 a month? Comcast Business TV helps keep your employees informed. And you get full-featured phone service with unlimited local and long-distance calls. And did you know all this is only a phone call away? Call 800-501-6000. Comcast Business, built for business.
Offer ends 12/21/16. Restrictions apply. Limited to one voice line and private view TV for new customers. 2-year contract required. Requires Comcast Business Internet and additional monthly charge. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Compares Comcast 150 megabits per second and 15 megabits per second DSL downloads.
Stocks are down again this morning. Fox Business Network's Nicole Petalides live on Wall Street.
All down arrows. The Dow and the S&P are down 4 of 5 days. The Nasdaq down for the second day in a row. Only technology is gaining, while energy and healthcare and 9 sectors are to the downside. Apple, Merck, Caterpillar under pressure. Apple came out with its numbers, and we're seeing Apple on the move right now. Let me take a look at Apple as I speak to you. And Dow right now is down 81 points at 18,087. The S&P is down 9 points. The Nasdaq is down 32. Apple is down 4%. Southwest Airlines 11%. Chipotle 7% to the downside, and Grubhub down 7%. All after quarterly reports. Dave.
Thank you, Nicole. The price of oil is down nearly $1. It's back to about $49 a barrel, while gas inches up slightly today. AAA's national average for regulars just shy of $2.23 a gallon. A fast food joint remains closed in Pennsylvania after some workers got fired over a video that got posted.
The Facebook Live video, which went on for 44 minutes, shows workers at a Checkers restaurant in Philadelphia joking about having sex and spitting and sneezing in the customer's food, among other things.
I'm going to wash the floor with these buns.
They even joked about selling drugs.
I got quarters, I got eights. I'm going to serve you right through the drive-thru.
Richard Benson, a former employee, says he's a hip-hop artist and posted the video as a publicity stunt and claims none of the workers actually did the things described in the video. The franchise has issued a statement saying the restaurant will be closed until it's fully sanitized and other employees will be retrained. Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
The World Series starts with a shutout and a lot of strikeouts.
I'm really just trying to treat it like any other start.
Indians pitcher Corey Kluber set a World Series record, striking out 8 Cubs in the first 3 innings. Cleveland blanked Chicago 6-0. Game 2 is tonight, moved up to 7 p.m. Eastern Time because of the threat of rain. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Hey, good morning. Cheers, aloha. Welcome in for hour number 2 of a wake-up call go-round. Wednesday, October 26th. Rain, and more rain today. Right now, 54 degrees. News Radio 1120 KPNW. Chris Nation to give you the specific. He's going to fill in the details. By the way, a new study found out that if your house smells like citrus or brownies, people will think it's worth more, and you could get up to $80,000 more. The smells decrease if it smells like socks and feet. I love these studies, and I hope they don't spend a lot. But couldn't you just, without even doing a lot of research, figure out that people were going to like the citrus smell and the brownies over feet? Yikes. Coming up, Lisa.
That's not intuitive? That's not intuitive.
All right. Let me write that down.
Yeah, not intuitive.
And selling house.
Make sure it doesn't smell like feet. That's good advice, I think, for everybody. Even if you're not smelling your house.
Studio?
Selling your house.
We want to have people in here?
Yeah.
Little potpourri?
Make sure studio does not smell like feet.
Right.
I think you could apply that to most areas of your life. Make sure your office doesn't smell like feet. Make sure your car doesn't smell like feet. Make sure you don't smell like feet.
Yeah, feet is not. It's not desirable. It's not sexy.
No. Make sure your grocery store doesn't smell like feet. Like I said, I think that this is... the only place that I could say that maybe smelling like feet would be...
Where?
Would be an advantage? Well,
Where? Where do you want it to smell like feet?
Sewage treatment plant probably would be better off.
Would be an upgrade? Okay.
Would be an upgrade.
Okay. Have you ever been to a spot where, like a airport or hotel, bigger cities, and they have them all? They are littered. You'll see sometimes 20 foot massage therapists right there. You come in, during your lunch hour, and you'll sit down and you'll get a foot massage. What?
So they say.
Well, you're out. You're out. You're You're sitting in a chair on the sidewalk, basically, or in the aisle. And for, $15-20, and I was talking to a friend of mine in Los Angeles, like, oh, I love those. Like, really? You'll just, oh, man, nothing like it. All right. I'm all for, a good massage, but
foot massages are awesome.
Have you had one?
Not that I've ever paid for.
Oh. Not that you've ever paid for.
Right.
But,
no.
Okay. All right. We're dancing. We'll find out about Lise Wheel's
foot massage
experience and she's coming up. She's a Fox News legal analyst. Coming up. Also news. You want to talk about what you got coming up?
Oh, we've got all sorts of stuff. We're going to talk about, remember when they said, all right, if more people are on Medicaid, they're going to stop going to the emergency room. Yeah, not so much. We're also going to take a look at a couple of crime cases, including a woman who arrived home to find people wandering around in her home. Not a good thing. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm frozen.
She should have.
I'm frozen.
Yeah. All right.
Anyway. The book that we talked to, the Navy SEAL that we talked to, needs to have a chat with this woman.
Yeah.
All right. 709-1120 KPNW.
Do you spend much time thinking about meat? Probably just the word meat evokes some sort of picture in your mind. At Burrito Amigos, they spend quite a bit of time dealing with people who want their meat. And they probably have more types of meat prepared in more ways than most fancy sit-down places. Consider Atabata, chili verde pork, nice and spicy, a new personal favorite. Chicken, carne asada, shredded Angus beef. Actually, anything with beef at Burrito Amigos is Angus. It's more tender. There's also carnitas, real cod fillets for fish tacos and burritos, shrimp, tongue, chorizo, link sausage, machaca, tofu, which is meat for people who don't eat meat. And of course, there's the king of meat, bacon, 2 different types. And you can have your favorite type of meat in burritos, tacos, tortas, tostados, or on nachos. You make the call. Burrito Amigos will make it meaty or tofu-y if that's your choice. Variety and making you happy is what it's all about. Burrito Amigos, dare I say, they are the meaty ones. In Eugene and Springfield, I'm Bill London, and I approve of meat. And Burrito Amigos.
Brad's Cottage Grove Chevy GMC. Low prices, amazing selection.
Our veterans deserve the best medical care. DeFazio now says that he wants to fix the problems in the veteran medical care system. He's been saying this for 30 years. Art, what should be done?
We have promised every veteran the best medical care in America in recognition of their service to our nation. We must keep this promise. Every veteran should have a card that pays 100% of medical costs at any medical provider.
No need to go to the VA?
That's right. If a veteran prefers the Mayo Clinic or Johns Hopkins or any local hospital or provider, he just goes and presents the card. If he or she prefers the VA, they can go there too. DeFazio just plays politics with our veterans. Fixing veterans' medical care is simple, but it won't buy the career politician many votes.
Let's not repeat the same mistake.
I'm Art Robinson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Art Robinson for Congress.
Today's top stories. In depth. This is the Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. A woman returning home from a shopping trip yesterday got a shock. 2 strangers were in her home. It happened around 1:30 yesterday afternoon on Lemming Avenue and Margaret Street. Police said a woman tried to open her front door and then realized that someone had locked it from the inside. That's when she saw the people wandering around in her house. The woman ran to a neighbor's home and called police. Police said the suspects had kicked through the front door to get inside. They were eventually arrested by Eugene police, whom they're just at this point describing as a man and a woman. A Florence man is accused of sexually abusing his girlfriend's teenage grandchildren after offering them $100 each to model for him in his apartment. The new documents in the case against Randy Kent Clay were unsealed in Lane County Circuit Court. Clay had signed a contract for the modeling job that said he could take photos of the girls ages 13 and 16. Court documents say he later amended the agreement to say the girls could drink alcohol with him and watch R-rated movies. The alleged sexual assault took place in August after Clay photographed the girls in what police described as sexually suggestive poses and positions. The girl's mother notified authorities after finding the photos. Clay's November trial on sex abuse charges was canceled last month, and it hasn't been rescheduled yet. Well, Lane County's unemployment rate fell a little bit to 5.7% in September, down from 5.9% in August, according to the State Employment Department. Jobs increased about 700 from August, continuing a general upward trend. Lane County's labor market got a boost in September from back-to-school related employment and perhaps an early start on hiring for the holiday season. The county's unemployment rate likely also affected by students returning to school and no longer looking for work, and a slowdown in the number of job-seeking people moving into Lane County. A suspect in the armed robbery of a motel in Portland led police on a dangerous pursuit yesterday morning. Brad Ford has more.
After robbing the Aladdin Motor Inn near Southwest 30th and Barber Boulevard, the suspect got into a minivan that was pursued by police. Jim Wolf with Tigard Police says the minivan hit several cars.
Shots were being fired from the suspect vehicle.
Portland Police and Tigard Police were involved in the pursuit that ended on Lower Boones Ferry Road near I-5. The suspect ran and was shot. Portland Police Sergeant Pete Simpson.
It's really remarkable that nobody was injured at all today besides the suspect.
There were children and another adult in the car. The suspect was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, it is a big question and a big discussion, not only in politics, but also in the medical field. And that is, with Medicaid expansion, would it save the country money and have people stop using expensive emergency room visits for primary care? Well, a study of Medicaid patients in Oregon who received Medicaid in 2008 is called the Oregon Health Insurance Experiment. And over the course of the last 8 years, they found that patients' ER use stayed high up to 2 years after they gained the health insurance coverage, even as they also increased their visits to doctors' offices.
But it means the program is expensive. People were more likely to go to the doctor's office and get prescription drugs. They were also more likely to go to the hospital. And I think surprising to a lot of people, they were much more likely to go to the emergency department. It's not just that past use of the emergency department continued in the same way. When people got Medicaid, emergency department use jumped by about 40%.
And remember, that was a big argument supposedly in favor of the Affordable Care Act, a.k.a. Obamacare, that when these people got insurance, they would stop going to the emergency room. Not the way it worked out. Dr. Kate Biker of Harvard was one of the lead authors of the study that took place in Oregon. She says folks had a misperception about health care.
What insurance does is make health care more affordable. And when you take something that was very expensive and make it free, people use more of it. So we weren't so surprised that people used the emergency department more and the doctor more and prescription drugs more. There might have been a misperception that because the emergency department can't turn away uninsured people just because they can't pay, that somehow the emergency department is free.
Although expensive, expanding Medicaid insurance, she says, may have savings in other areas, like an increased use of preventative services that could stave off problems that would later be more expensive. Federal prosecutors' case against the armed occupiers of the Oregon Wildlife Refuge hit a bump yesterday when a juror raised questions about the impartiality of another person on the panel. Jurors sent 2 notes to the judge indicating they were having difficulty reaching a consensus after 3 days of deliberations. In one note, a member of the panel said a fellow juror called himself very biased. The writer asked the judge whether that juror, a former employee of the U.S. Bureau of Land Management, could ever be considered impartial. You see, that federal agency managed the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge and currently does near Burns, the remote site where Ammon Bundy and his followers took over for 41 days during the winter. During questioning last month before the trial, the juror said he worked for the agency more than 20 years as a range tech and firefighter. U.S. District Judge Anna Brown and representatives from the prosecution and defense met in chambers with the juror whose impartiality had been questioned. Brown questioned him and said, well, she found no signs of bias. She left him on the jury and sent the panel home for the day. When defense attorneys objected, Brown gave them until this morning to find case law that would support further questioning of the juror or the panel member concerned about the impartiality. Oregon Health Sciences University in Portland is starting a 10-year study to learn how the developing brains of children are affected by their environment. Brad Ford has the details.
OHSU is one of 19 facilities across the country that'll follow 10,000 children as they grow up.
To really evaluate how kids' brains develop throughout the course of childhood and adolescence.
OHSU psychiatrist Sarah Feldstein-Ewing says kids stop growing in high school, but their brains continue to develop until the mid-20s. This study will look at how brain development is affected by all factors.
Exposure to TV and different kinds of handheld electronics and different sports injuries.
Children will be interviewed twice a year, and they'll get occasional MRIs to monitor how their brains change over time. OHSU will enroll 500 kids in the study locally. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Coos County's district attorney is asking a judge to put a Coquille man accused of raping a young girl back in jail after he was ordered released pending trial. Frank Noakes is charged with several sex abuse charges and was released on his own recognizance in September. Court documents say a girl under the age of 14 reported that Noakes sexually assaulted her twice in June. In one incident, she described having to kick him off her to get him to stop. District Attorney Paul Frazier filed a motion to revoke Noakes' release after police reported that he made unlawful contact with the mother of the alleged victim. The woman told police she'd been at Noakes' home to discuss something he was unable to in jail. The judge is going to reconsider Frazier's motion this Monday. Authorities say the search for a missing hunter in southwest Oregon's wilderness is now officially suspended. Curry County Sheriff John Ward said in a news release that the extensive ground search for 41-year-old Sean Higgins of Coos Bay was suspended Tuesday. He says searchers have found zero signs, clues, or indication of where Higgins might be in that vast, rugged search area. Higgins and his 21-year-old son Trevor were reported missing October 14th after they failed to meet up with a relative while hunting. Trevor was found by search crews last Tuesday over 2 miles from where he entered the woods between Grants Pass and Gold Beach. Ward says he was taken to a hospital with severe hypothermia but survived. Crews of up to 100 people have been participating in that search. 3 family members who ran strip clubs in Portland have been sentenced for, evading taxes. Brad Ford has the details.
Daniel David and George Carraz ran 2 strip clubs called Cabaret. They were convicted in May of conspiracy to defraud the IRS. They kept 2 sets of books, one for their accountant and the other they kept at home. They used the scheme to hide $1.5 million from the IRS. They avoided paying $650,000 in taxes. Both David and George Carraz were sentenced to 3 years in prison with an additional 3 years of supervised release. They also have to repay $650,000 in restitution. Daniel Carraz will serve 1 year in prison and has to pay more than $125,000 in restitution. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Okay, this is cool and also scary. A truck full of Budweiser beer made history as the world's first ever commercial shipment made by a self-driving truck. The Anheuser-Busch Company says it has successfully sent a beer-filled tractor trailer on a journey of more than 120 miles through Colorado. The full trailer of Budweiser began the self-driving trip at a weigh station in Fort Collins, Colorado, and ran along Interstate 25 through Denver before wrapping up in Colorado Springs. According to the company, a professional truck driver was on board for the entire route, monitoring the trip from the cab's sleeper berth, and the trip was completed without his intervention. Anheuser-Busch says it hopes to see self-driving technology widely deployed. The beverage giant said autonomous trucks can help cut the number of accidents, noting that nearly half the fatalities in the U.S. occur on highways. All right, that sounds really cool, except I bet a Clydesdale could do the same thing. It's 7:21. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, here on KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Game 1 of the World Series out of Cleveland, all Tribe. Indians pitcher Corey Kluber recorded an MLB record, striking out 8 Cub batters in the first 3 innings. Bob Gibson, Randy Johnson, Orlando Hernandez had KO'd 7, never 8. Kluber left 3 innings later with another strikeout, a total of 4 hits, giving up no runs. Chicago Cubs never got going. They did get 7 hits, but no runs. Meanwhile, Cleveland catcher Roberto Perez, he jacked 2 home runs in the 9 spot. That's never been done in a World Series. In the end, it's all Cleveland 6-zip. Game 2 tonight again in Cleveland. Maybe another surprise in the NBA in Oaktown. The Golden State Warrior All-Stars. They won't go 24-0. They got manhandled in Game 1 by the San Antonio Spurs, 129-100. San Antonio's Kawhi Leonard scored a career-high 35. Don't throw in the towel, Warrior fans. It's a long season. Warriors might not have won their first game, but the Portland Trailblazers did. They won their 16th consecutive home opener, turning out the Utah Jazz 113-104. Steve Kerr said he thinks Damian Lillard could be this year's MVP. Lillard might have used that to turn in an MVP-esque performance, going for 39. LeBron James, Cavaliers swatted down the Knicks 117-88. LeBron with a career triple-double, number 43. They always say don't advertise you're not at home on Facebook by posting vacation photos. Kind of hard to do that when you're playing in front of a primetime audience in a football game. That's what happened to Denver Broncos' DeMarcus Ware. He had his house burglarized on Monday. Among the things taken, his Super Bowl ring. That sucks. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Where's your finish line? Set a goal, make a plan, get results. Max Muscle on Franklin across from Market of Choice. News time 7:24.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We had a warm front bring moderate showers to the region overnight. Already picked up about a half inch, and I'm still tracking a few isolated showers off and on, and they look to continue throughout your day. Right now we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temps are in the upper 40s to low 50s with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10. Few gusts up to 15, and we do see those shower activities continuing into your afternoon. Now the warm front will push up into Washington, but we're already seeing the cold front not far behind that. That means a 90% chance of showers this afternoon, kicking back into the evening. Otherwise, highs will be in the upper 50s to low 60s, 62 here in town. Wind shifts south at 5 to 10. A few gusts up to 15 this afternoon. We are looking at gusts of about 30 to 35 on the coast once the cold front moves on shore. But it's going to be a slow-moving cold front. That means showers tonight and then a good portion of tomorrow. Now, we're locked into this pattern because the jet stream arcs down almost to the equator, then comes back up the west coast. And the jet stream is basically the highway system that keeps bringing storm systems to us every 24 to 36 hours. The latest data suggests this wet pattern looks to continue right into your weekend and early next week. Simply put, grab your umbrella. You're probably going to need it. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Those ads pushing a yes vote on Measure 97's tax on sales remind me of an old saying.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
That if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Oh, you mean because the ads promoting 97 try to make people believe putting a tax on sales won't increase consumer costs?
Yeah. 97 would put this huge new $6 billion state tax on sales of food, gas, electricity, medicine, and almost everything else.
And the state of Oregon's own study showed 97's tax would cost a typical family like ours $600 a year.
Right. And the ads pushing 97 also want us to believe the money would go to education.
Yeah, well, we've heard that one before, huh?
Yes, we have. And the truth is, since 97 is not a constitutional amendment, the politicians could just spend the money however they want, as usual.
Well, that's another good reason to vote no on Measure 97's $6 billion tax on sales.
Agreed. No on 97.
Paid for by Defeat the Tax on Oregon Sales.
When you need foundation repairs, turn to the foundation experts at Ramjack West. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Serving Oregon and Washington. Choose Ramjack. CCB 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, sponsored by Eugene's #1 electrical contractor, Builders Electric. I've talked many times in previous Motivational Minutes about laughter and the positive benefits to us both physically and emotionally that we gain by including lots of laughter in our lives. Well, Paul Lowney gave it an even different twist when he said, laughter has no foreign accent. Sometimes when we see others laughing, even if we can't speak their language, it makes us laugh also. It really doesn't matter the culture or the language. Laughter is a powerful remedy for everyone. So find lots of ways to laugh today. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
This motivational minute was brought to you by Builders Electric, providing honest, reliable, and positive contracting throughout the Willamette Valley since 1960. That's Builders Electric, CCB number 4296.
If you're serious about getting the right stove or fireplace for your home, place Midgley's at the top of your list. Midgley's is your exclusive Lane County dealer for some of the top brands on the market today, including Lopi, Yodel, Avalon, Valor, Town & Country, Blaze King, and Fireplace Extraordinaire. Check us out online at Midgleys.com. We're at the corner of 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Midgley's. Anywhere else and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
You've heard me talk about glutamine and how important it is for your body. It repairs every cell in the human body, giving you overall optimal health. It's odorless, tasteless, and flavorless. Stop by, give it a try. You won't taste a thing. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard in Eugene.
Holloway in London.
Why are you torturing me?
On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I don't know. Every time I hear this piece of bumper music, I imagine people dressed up in like 16th century garb and doing their little waltz dance. And then it kicks into this, and that fantasy goes away. Good morning. It is 7:28 News Radio, 1120 KPNW. At this point, not really much in the way of problems to report out there on our highways, byways, and other thoroughfares. I did notice, however, that when I'm on my way to work in the morning, when I first leave, I'm kind of on some back roads. Lots of leaves on the road. I don't know why this morning, but a couple of areas where it was kind of slick because of the wet leaves. Just note that if you're one of those folks that drives the outlying areas, just a little bit dicey. Parking lot, oddly enough, this morning was like ice here because of the leaves. I mean, just like, and they're entirely coated. You can't even see the blacktop. So we're waiting right now for Fox's lease wheel. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about leaves. Rob's over there enjoying that. So right now we're trying to get connected. And by the way, don't forget, tomorrow, Thirsty Thursday, we're going to be at the First National Tap House down on Broadway in downtown Eugene. So that, I guess, you got that all worked out there, Rob? Let's get Lise on. Lise, are you there?
Let's get Lise on.
Lise, are you there? Lise,
hello?
Save us. Hello, Lise.
Hi, I'm actually Loretta Powers. I'm filling in for Lise Wheel. She's on assignment.
She's playing the part of Lise today.
Okay, so you're playing Lise Wheel on the radio. See, you could have just said you were Lise.
Yes, I'm sorry to disappoint you all.
Yeah, well, you have. You've completely destroyed my life. Have you written any books, Loretta?
I have not.
Okay, see, now this is a major problem because Lise always comes on and pimps her books first thing, and so
Right, well, I am reading The Candidate right now, if that counts.
Okay, so you're actually reading a book. All right, well, good. This conversation is going well for us this morning so far. So, Loretta, what's your background in law?
Well, I'm licensed to practice in 2 countries, in the Socialist Republic of Vietnam as well as Texas. I'm a criminal defense attorney at the law offices of Tim Powers in beautiful Denton, Texas.
Okay, so why did you need to practice criminal law in Vietnam?
I actually did corporate international. I was helping foreign investors get their businesses started.
Yeah. Wow. Well, cool. Okay. Well, let's talk about law on this side of the pond, if you will. So the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 recall, now they're saying, has a potential to result or to actually cause a class action lawsuit. For folks that don't know, the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 has this kind of annoying little engineering flaw where essentially it bursts into flames. Should we even be surprised by this, Loretta?
No. This is a meritorious class action lawsuit. It's not a matter of if this happens. It's a matter of when it happens. 13 people got burned, dozens more lost their property, and not to mention millions of people were paying for a cell phone that they couldn't use.
Because it bursts into flames.
Exactly. And you know what Samsung is offering right now? If you want to get a phone outside of the Samsung family, they'll give you a $25 voucher for that. But if you want to keep with your Samsung, they'll give you a $100 voucher. So basically, attorneys are saying, look, that's not enough.
So they'll give you $100 if you keep the phone that keeps blowing up? Is that what they're doing? They're giving you $100? What? They allow you to get another phone, but is it, is it a Galaxy 7? Or do they let you get, like, some other lower form of Galaxy?
Some other lower form of Galaxy that does not blow up and burn you.
Well, that's magnanimous of them, I say. How much could this be worth total? I mean, as far as a class
total,
yeah.
We're looking at one of the biggest class action lawsuits of our time. It could even surpass the Ford Pinto legislation.
Well, when you say surpass that, I mean, are we talking about $1 billion? Are we talking $10 billion? I mean, can you put a...
I think so. I think so because of the amount of people that were affected by this. Plus, there might be some evidence that they knew about it.
Okay.
Yet they released the phones anyway.
All right. Let's shift gears. The Anthony Weiner's scandal. If folks don't remember, allegedly he was texting pictures of his junk to an underage girl. I mean, this seems pretty... I mean, if he actually did that, it seems like he would be indicted. Or will he not be indicted because he's a part of the political class?
I think he could be indicted for being a ham sandwich. This is pretty much a slam dunk case. I mean, he enticed a minor into explicit acts. And under federal law, that faces some really tough punishment. You're looking at 15 years minimum and a maximum of 30 years. And I think because he is a part of the political circle, they might make an example out of him and charge him for every instance that he had a Skype session or text with her.
Okay, so... I mean, if you were to lay odds on that, if you were going to be a bookie, would you say that's, a 50-50 thing? Or do you say it's like a 75% chance that they throw the book at him? I mean, what do you think the odds of that actually happening are?
I think because he actually didn't touch the victim, that it's very low that they're going to throw the book at him. However, I think he is facing a minimum of 15 years.
All right. Loretta, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. We appreciate it. And good luck about, maybe getting out there and actually writing your own book. Good luck on that.
Thank you.
All right. You take care. Bye. I don't even think she's a real lawyer.
I think she's an intern.
I was going to say the same thing. I think that she's like a legal clerk. I think she's potentially still in law school. And I don't.
Lise can't do it. Lise can't do it. What's your name?
What's your name? Yeah.
I'm on a tour. Get in here.
Well, what? I just got back from Vietnam on my internship program with the Peace Corps. You're right. I don't think she's a lawyer.
Wow. I like how they give us a little warning.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it's not.
Lise can't make it.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah.
24 away from
would you want her defending you?
I gotta go.
You're not going to answer that question?
Check traffic. Well,
I take that's a no.
Pro bono?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah. Oh, you'd go pro bono instead. You would go to the place that actually does medical care for dogs over her.
It gave, extra credit. If I was to help her advance her career.
Well, okay.
All right. We get a break. Stand by. It's 11:20 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Investors are disappointed in Apple's forecast for the holiday season. The revenue projection just barely beat estimates. The company reported its first annual sales decline since 2001. The Chinese market fell 17% in the fiscal year. Apple shares are lower in trading. As a result, we are seeing stocks falling this morning. Meantime, Southwest Airlines tumbling after reporting that a key industry revenue measure may drop more sharply this quarter. Staying with tough reports, Chipotle Mexican Grill had a bruising third quarter. Sales fell a worse than expected 22%, and profit was down 95% from a year ago. Chipotle is trying to come back from a series of foodborne illnesses. Target is holding off on holiday ads on network TV until after the election gloom passes. Instead, the retailer will do its advertising on social media sites such as Pinterest, in movie theaters, and on channels such as Food Network and HGTV. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
The Albany Gun and Knife Show is this weekend at the Lynn County Fairgrounds. This show has it all for the hunter, collector, or outdoorsman. Produced by Wes Nodell, it's a firearms browsing paradise. See you this Saturday and Sunday at the Lynn County Fairgrounds. Just $7 at the door.
It's time for Discount Windows Win-Win Sale, Lee.
I remember that one, Vic. Customers win by receiving 10% off our professional installation, and we win by keeping our install team busy all year long.
That's right, Lee. Folks, at Discount Windows, get 10% off your window installation booked through the end of January.
10% off our already competitive install prices. That really is a sweet deal.
Discount Windows carries energy-rated windows that may be eligible for a rebate from your utility company.
We're doing our part to help lower your monthly utility bills.
Don't miss Discount Windows Win-Win Sale.
Hurry win!
Don't miss Discount Windows Win-Win Sale. Highway 99, Junction City. Open 7 days a week. Only Flyjet windows are eligible for 10% off installation. See store for details.
Discount Windows. We do windows,
doors,
and installation for less.
CCB 180018.
50 cents doesn't get you much these days, but at Guarantee, 50 cents is all you need. This is Shannon Nill, your discount dealer at Guarantee in Junction City. We first opened our doors exactly 50 years ago, and on behalf of the Nill family, a heartfelt thanks for all the support for the past 5 decades. Now, we're throwing a huge party, and you're getting all the gifts. During Guarantee's 50 Ways to Save celebration, you can buy a dozen farm fresh eggs for just 50 cents, with all the money raised going to local 4-H kids. Plus, you can buy a car, truck, motorhome, or trailer with a down payment of just 50 cents. And select motorhomes are discounted $50,000. Complete details are at Guarantee.com. It's a 50-year tradition. Eggs are cheaper in the country, and so are good cars, trucks, motorhomes, and trailers. But that's only at Guarantee, 5 minutes north of the Eugene Airport in Junction City.
All credit on approved Tier 1 credit. 50-cent down payment valid on purchases up to $100,000. See dealer for restrictions and list of vehicles qualifying for $50,000 discount off MSRP.
Oregon's Game Megabucks jackpot is over $5 million. Buy yours today.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not cooking dinner for one. I'm on horseback, galloping across the Scottish moors towards my one true love. There, through the mist, I see my beloved, kilt flapping in the breeze. The fibers of his shirt struggle against his bulging muscles as he takes me from my horse and... my frittata!
Go to audible.com/act now, and your first download is free. Audible. Stories that surround you.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We've had a warm front move in overnight, bringing moderate showers most of the night, and we're still seeing them off and on this morning, and they will continue throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10, and a few gusts up to 15. This afternoon, we'll see the warm front move up into Washington State, but the cold front's not far behind it. Well, we will get a break from the showers around noon into the afternoon. Late in the afternoon, that returns. The cold front starts to sweep in. That means mostly cloudy skies continue. Highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. Winds Winds will shift to the south at 5 to 10, and we could see gusts on the coast as high as 30 or 35. We're also looking at about 3/4 of an inch of rain. Already saw about a half inch tonight, and there are more showers to come. The problem is the jet stream continuously bringing more and more storm systems towards us. Latest data suggests we're looking at a storm system about every 24 to 36 hours for the next several days and right into the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, saying don't forget your umbrella and have a great day.
Hello there, and welcome to the exciting world of
Holloway in London and the Wake Up Call. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
That's right. It's the Wake Up Call, the only show that has expert interns as guests.
18 away from 8 o'clock. Hello.
Hi.
KPNW, live and local in the morning. 1120kpnw at gmail.com.
And we say that like it's an advantage.
Nuts. All right, 126, 1 mile west of the intersection with Beltline there. We got the westbound lanes affected by a crash. Westbound. So if you are coming into town, say from Veneta or Elmira, don't be a looky-loo. Just kind of get in, get out, and they'll try to get that resolved. Highway 58, 12 miles east of Pleasant Hill. We've got a crash maybe in the clearing stages as it's about an hour and a half or so in length, and maybe they've got that cleaned up, but just be ready for it. 12 miles east of Pleasant Hill. It's still on the map here. Westbound lanes affected as well. Anything else we see? A lot of standing water out there, and as Bill alerted and alarmed people of Eugene Springfield, leaves galore.
Leaves
everywhere. Which, I mean, if you are riding a bike, motorcycle, or pedal, that would be pretty much a concern. But they are slick out there, so take them seriously. All right, couple things. Thought this was kind of cool. Got an email from one of our 15. It says, "Hey, wake up call. Yesterday was very hectic, so didn't get this sent yesterday. After hearing the comment about the traffic mess on East Beltline, I quick called our son that takes East Beltline to get his job there on International Way and caught him up just before he was to leave and to turn on the 11th to head for the intersection of East Beltline. He was so thankful I had heard and caught him before he got tied up and was to sit there and back up. Thank you, and thank you to the road rangers." See, when you do call in or when there is a little communication going back and forth, it does make a difference. It does save some people out there some frustration.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's paying it forward, what she did right there.
That's what she did.
She's helping with a non-15 with his life. Okay, yeah, it just happens to be her son, but so we're helping people everywhere.
You can't assume he doesn't listen. He might have had something else going on.
Yeah, no.
No, okay.
I don't think
there was a story yesterday, and when you think about CMN and you think about what March of Dimes, two organizations that we firmly plant ourselves in and around and do anything we can to help. Because when it comes to babies and kids, I mean, God, just seeing a photo. Oh, I saw a kid at a store yesterday, a baby, who was just, you're sitting there, you're just kind of in your head, and I looked over, and she gave me the most incredible smile, and it changed my day. I mean, little babies are so adorable. Take this story and then apply it to things that you've helped out with in the past, CMN and whatever organization it is, and whether it's prematurely born babies or kids in general or any kind of shelter care out there. This happened in Texas. A woman had been pregnant for about 4 or 5 months when they realized that the baby that she was bearing, that she was about to release into the world, had a tumor on her tailbone. So about a month and a half later, so we're talking about 6 months into her pregnancy, she had a medical team in Houston take the baby out, remove the tumor, an operation that took about five hours, remove the tumor, put the baby back, and the baby was born 3 months later. today, the baby is 5 months old and doing well. Mom and baby are doing incredible. The baby was born essentially twice. How amazing is that? I mean, you think about a couple of years ago, that would have been, a pipe dream. That would have been, boy, that would be nice, but we just don't have the technology to do it because of, CMN and because of, March of Dimes and the research that's going out there. This medical team out of Houston was able to do that.
That's pretty astounding.
Is that amazing, or is that? Do I just kind of sit there and?
That's mind-boggling. To me, that's just beyond the pale of miraculous.
The tumor was as big as the fetus. It was humongous. Wow. I mean,
go little baby, go.
Wow. What a story that whole family has to tell, and the everybody that was involved. I hope this story is getting out, and that these doctors and the medical team are getting accolades from all over the world, because frankly, they deserve it. They deserve it. All right, 12 in front of 8 o'clock. Switching gears, we got an event coming up tomorrow.
Thursday, 4 to 7 o'clock, we're going to be at the First National Tap House, which is, I think it's like 51 Broadway. It's right there in the middle of downtown. I think it's 51 Broadway. I could be like a number off. But it's just right down there in that downtown area where everything kind of narrows down. This will be our second time there. It's a cool, I like it. It's a comfy place to go in. It's not screaming loud like some places are. It's one of those, what I would call a comfy type of neighborhood bar, but classy.
Would you even call it a pub? I might even call it a pub.
Yeah. Yeah, I would call it a pub. It does have kind of a pubosphere to it. Pubosphere? Yeah, I like that. I just made up a word. Feel free to just incorporate it into your daily lexicon.
I feel badly that I don't know the answer to this question. Have been there and enjoyed a beverage or two, but I've never even thought about food there. Do they have food?
Yeah.
Got a whole menu?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, good food. I had went in there for lunch with one of our salespeople 6-7 months ago, and got a Reuben, and it was good. That's how I judge places that serve sandwiches. I judge them on their Reubens. If the Reuben is good, they get a pass. So
okay. And what kinds of things shall you be giving away?
We've got some concert tickets, and I'm trying to remember which ones they are.
Not Earth, Wind, and Fire, huh?
I don't think so. We've got some concert tickets. We have we're going to have some of those neon beer signs, which everybody loves. And, Widmer and Bud Gear and all sorts of stuff. So, and we'll be giving away about every 15 minutes. We'll be giving stuff away.
Is it the Bill and Howard show?
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right. World Class Howard is going to be there.
From World Class Rock 101.5. Okay, cool. All right, 4 o'clock. Not today. Tomorrow.
4 to 7 o'clock. We invite you to come on out, tip a beer with us, have a Widmer something or other.
Win some stuff.
Enjoy a beer, have a conversation. It'll be good.
Okay, would you say you're approachable? Can people come up and talk to you like a real person?
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as they don't, lean over the railing that I bring with me, it's all okay. I have my own portable railing that I bring. So it's
you need your 3 foot
my three
circle,
foot, right?
bubble.
So I put my railing up, and then there's a sign there that says "Talk to Bill," and it's very comfortable.
I was talking to one of our 15, and I was telling him about the white gloves that you wear.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, I thought you were kidding. Is he like a germaphobe? I'm like, well, yeah, he's a little out there. That Billy. All right, that happens tomorrow. 9 away from 8 o'clock, hour 3.
Says Tom Sotelo. He just sends in an email. They have great baked macaroni and cheese topped with bacon. Okay, I'm all over that. I'm trying that tomorrow.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. Hour 3 coming up. Cloudy, wet, damp, and 54 at News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Mid-Lane Truck and Equipment Repair would like to remind you that weather is changing and winter is right around the corner. Getting your vehicle ready requires more than just installing snow tires. Your antifreeze protection needs to be checked, belts and hoses inspected and replaced if needed, and windshield wipers replaced for clear vision ahead. Stop by Mid-Lane Truck and Equipment Repair today to schedule an appointment, and don't let old man winter leave you out in the cold. Call 541-345-7570 or visit midlanetruckequiprepair.com.
Art DeFazio says you oppose education, yet all 6 of your children have advanced college degrees in science, 5 of those with doctorates.
Yes, Pete DeFazio has never taught a single student. I have been teaching college, including graduate students, and K-12 students for 48 years. Our family's K-12 curriculum has won many awards.
But you have made some strong statements about schools.
I have. It is a terrible thing to neglect the education of a young mind. When I see educational neglect, it makes me angry. The difference is, as a lifelong educator, I have worked to improve education. Pete just panders to the unions that have wrecked our schools so that these unions will support his re-election.
Let's not repeat the same mistake.
I'm Art Robinson, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Art Robinson for Congress.
Live from the Widmer Brothers Studios, it's the Wake Up Call with Rob Holloway and me, Bill London, every Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 9. Click on the Wake Up Call logo at kpnw.com and hear and see the latest news as well as interviews with local, regional, and national newsmakers. It's the Wake Up Call. It goes down easy like a Widmer ale.
News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. The Federal Reserve is charged with encouraging full employment and controlling inflation. That's it, period. Propping up the stock market is not part of their responsibilities, but it's become one of the central bank's main drivers, maybe as far back as Alan Greenspan's tenure. By keeping interest rates artificially low, the Fed is sacrificing the middle class, particularly those who have worked hard, played by the rules, and saved enough for a comfortable retirement, or at least they had under the old rules. Say you saved $500,000 over a working lifetime. At 6%, it would earn $30,000 a year, or $2,500 a month. Together with, say, $1,500 a month from Social Security, you have an income of almost $50,000. Not rich by any means, but enough to live comfortably and with your dignity intact, especially if you've paid off your house. However, at 0.5%, $500,000 produces about $200 a month. And guess what? You're now poor. Dog food, anyone? Here's the nugget. Central bankers have made it impossible for pension funds and insurance companies to meet their necessary and targeted returns, resulting in the need for massive contributions that have to come from the same middle-class taxpayers and insurance policy holders who are getting crushed by low interest rates and stagnant wages. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We had a warm front bring moderate showers to the region overnight. Already picked up about a half inch, and I'm still tracking a few isolated showers off and on, and they look to continue throughout your day. Right now, we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temps are in the upper 40s to low 50s, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10, few gusts up to 15, and we do see those shower activities continuing into your afternoon. Now, the warm front will push up into Washington, but we're already seeing the cold front not far behind that. That means a 90% chance of showers this afternoon, kicking back into the evening. Otherwise, highs will be in the upper 50s to low 60s, 62 here in eastern town. Wind shifts south at 5 to 10. A few gusts up to 15 this afternoon. We are looking at gusts of about 30 to 35 on the coast once the cold front moves on shore. But it's going to be a slow-moving cold front. That means showers tonight and then a good portion of tomorrow. Now, we're locked into this pattern because the jet stream arcs down almost to the equator and then comes back up the west coast. And the jet stream is basically the highway system that keeps bringing storm systems to us every 24 to 36 hours. The latest data suggests this wet pattern looks to continue right into your weekend and early next week. Simply put, grab your umbrella. You're probably going to need it. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. It is a lower day on Wall Street. Apple dropping in trading after its earnings forecast for the holiday season. This is the second day in a row of losses for stocks as Apple investors have been shaken by the first annual sales decline since 2001. Nintendo cut its sales and operating profit outlook for the year as the popularity of Pokemon Go failed to make up for sliding sales of 3DS and Wii U games. Investors are looking for signs that Nintendo's embrace of mobile gaming will pay off, with the company's shares up more than 45% this year. Wells Fargo CEO Tim Sloan apologized to staff for leadership failures that allowed a retail banking scandal and caused pain to the rank and file. He promised to conduct company-wide reviews of the bank's sales practices and culture. Mercedes-Benz is building pickups with new buck leather seats and oak trim, hoping to reel in wealthy parents and sailboat owners. In late 2017, the luxury car maker will start selling mid-sized pickups smaller than the Ford F-150 that seats 5 people. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Now we know that President Obama has lied about something else. I'm Lars Larson with the Northwest Report's commentary in just a moment. Have you ever thought about all the money you spend at the pharmacy buying a shaver, and it's just a cheap piece of plastic? Harry's.com was started by 2 guys passionate about creating a better shaving experience. They bought a blade factory in Germany. They turn out the best blades, and the starter kit, $15, and it's delivered to your house, and delivery is free. Go to Harry's.com right now. Enter my code name Lars in the promo box. $5 off your first order. Enter my code name Lars for $5 off your first order. That's Harry's.com. Change the way you shave forever. We now know that Hillary Rodham Clinton was running a private email server from 2009 till her exit from the State Department in 2013. We only found out about it because lawsuits and private groups went after the information. And then when the story finally broke, reporters went to President Obama and said, "When did you find out about it?" Here's what he told them.
At the same time, everybody else learned it through news reports.
Well, that turns out to be a bald-faced lie, because President Obama has known about it since 2009. The Hillary Clinton campaign knew that, and they worried about trying to clean up all those emails, or maybe get the president to protect them under executive privilege. None of that really flies. The president lied, and Hillary Clinton, who'd like to replace him, also lied to the American people. Those things alone should disqualify her. For Northwest Reports, I'm Lars Larson.
We report, you decide. This is News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony. What some in Congress are calling a disgrace, the Pentagon is putting on hold a clawback of re-enlistment bonuses paid out in California. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Less than 24 hours after news broke that the Pentagon was demanding more than 10,000 California National Guard soldiers return $15,000 in re-enlistment bonuses, Defense Secretary Ash Carter has ordered a suspension in efforts to seek the repayments. Carter said in a statement, the process has dragged on too long for too many service members, and it's unfair to them and to taxpayers. While Carter said that suspension will continue until he's satisfied the process is working effectively, he did not say the debts will be forgiven. Dave?
John, Hillary Clinton will campaign in Florida today. Her daughter Chelsea's in Ohio trying to get people to vote for her mom, saying this election is partly about
repudiating Donald Trump's divisive, demeaning, degrading rhetoric that should offend all of us.
Trump is attacking Clinton for supporting Obamacare, which he vows to repeal as premiums spike up, and he's about to make a big deal out of his new hotel in Washington.
Donald Trump has made his business success a key part of his campaign. Less than 2 weeks before Election Day, he's touting another, cutting the ribbon here on his Trump International Hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue, just a short walk from the White House. He dropped by another resort in Florida yesterday, part of a multi-day swing through that swing state. From here, another must-win on his road to 270 Electoral College votes, 2 rallies in North Carolina. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
First, as President Obama restores relations with old Cold War foe Cuba, the U.S. will no longer vote against a UN resolution criticizing the still in place economic embargo against Cuba. The American delegation will instead abstain, pitting the White House against a Republican-led Congress unwilling to lift the embargo. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
About 2% of the population has a condition known as scoliosis, or curvature of the spine, with the vast majority of cases occurring in children. Some schools sponsor scoliosis screenings, but parents can watch for symptoms such as uneven shoulder or waist, prominent shoulder blades, or leaning to one side. Detection and treatment are the best ways to prevent an existing problem from getting worse. The specialists at Neurospine Institute can properly diagnose scoliosis and determine the best treatment options for your child.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
Terrorists linked to ISIS are being blamed for a slaughter in Afghanistan, murdering at least 26 of the 33 civilians kidnapped while out gathering firewood. Some of them were children. An Afghan official says it was revenge for police killing one of the militant commanders. Iraqi and Kurdish troops have taken back dozens of villages near a city they're trying to recapture from ISIS. It's week 2 of the operation, and the Islamic terrorists are bringing in reinforcements.
We've been told of ISIS suicide squads from Syria heading to Mosul to launch attacks, be it with explosive belts, car bombs, roadside bombs, that kind of thing. It's already been happening. We've seen that.
Fox's John Huddy.
We're hearing that ISIS militants are sending in death squads, basically executioners, to kill people, civilians, men, women, and children, as they're trying to flee these villages, and then as those ISIS militants are heading back into Mosul.
Subaru is recalling more than 100,000 vehicles in the U.S. that can overheat, possibly catch fire. Ford's recalling more than 400,000 older SUVs around the world to fix fuel leaks that could cause fires. The Cubs will try to even things up in Cleveland tonight after they drew a blank to start the World Series.
The Indians staged a 2-out rally in the first inning and scored 2 runs off Cubs starting pitcher John Lester. And that was more than enough offense the Indians needed in Game 1. Their starting pitcher Corey Kluber pitched a gem. He set a World Series record, struck out 8 batters through the first 3 innings, gave up 4 hits over 6 shutout frames before the Cleveland bullpen took over. The last hitter in the Indians lineup, their best, Roberto Perez, launched a 4th-inning home run for a 3-0 lead and then a 3-run shot in the 8th to close the scoring at 6-0. Game 2 Wednesday will begin an hour earlier than initially scheduled because of a rainy forecast. First pitch, 7:08 Eastern Time. At the World Series in Cleveland, Jared Max, Fox News.
More Americans are getting ready to move into a new house. New home sales rose more than 3% last month. On Wall Street, the Dow's up 44 points. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Hey, good morning to you on this fall Wednesday, October 26. Wake up call, 1120 KPNW with rain, and more rain in the forecast. Here's how it shapes up. Today, pretty much 90% into tonight as well, and 80% on Thursday, 10% on Friday. If you are doing the Saturday, maybe a costume party or get-together, a little shindig, 80% throughout the day, 60% at night, and then for the trick-or-treating, about an 80% to a 60% chance in the nighttime. So pretty much going to be wet off and on throughout the next couple of days. If you got a lot of feathers and things that will be affected by the precipitation, you might just have your carriers, your handlers, just walk around with umbrellas, 2 or 3 umbrellas over your.
Or what about you get 4 of them and they just carry a canopy around that you walk under?
I like that idea too.
Yeah, I'm always thinking.
Something where you have, your handlers take care of your everywhere.
I think what you do is you go knock on doors, and then you have the people with the candy actually deliver the candy to your home. So you trick or treat from your front door. They bring their bowl of candy over. You say trick or
If you
treat.
can get that going, that's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, how many areas of Eugene and Springfield, how many neighborhoods actually are ready for trick-or-treating and encourage and have trick-or-treaters? I'm thinking about one street near campus off Fremont. There's going to be probably about 1,000 people within that residential block. I'm thinking out Coburg, McKenzie, you got a couple of spots, but I mean, really, as far as, you'll see more than a couple of trick-or-treaters. Where's the best spots to go? Did I tell you about the...
in Corvallis, I just want to throw this in, sorority and frat row were always good for major quantities of candy.
For kids?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, I don't know that I would... maybe I'm wrong, but I would not have thought that if you were a parent of kids here in University of Oregon, that you would throw them out there in that environment.
I don't know what it's like at the University of Oregon, but I can tell you that in Corvallis, at least back in the day when he was trick-or-treating.
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah, when Brady was trick-or-treating, that that was
okay. So we can't actually qualify it as a spot that you would want to go in 2016.
Well, if I had him, I'd certainly take him there just to see, because it used to be a gold mine.
Probably not a lot of competition either.
There was some.
Yeah.
I know that I guess it's probably not something most folks think about. Well, they go all out for it, particularly the sororities. Oh my God. They're just like, here, have it. It's like handfuls. It's like, wow.
And they're probably dressed up in costume.
Yes. It was good.
A good spot to be.
Yeah.
Of course, the Harlow, Camp Harlow, places like that have the indoors. There was the church out on Hawkins that used to do something, but then they are doing it in the parking lot now, or they were for a while. It's like, any safe, kind of well-lit, dry spot, that's where you go. It's a little cold, a little wet, really early Monday, and we need to run for public office so we can switch the trick-or-treating during the actual Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It should be Friday or Saturday mandated. That's if Halloween is on Tuesday, okay, you can celebrate Halloween, but the trick-or-treating is still going to be during the weekends.
Well, yeah, if you can take President's Day and just move it around to whatever is the convenient Monday for a 3-day holiday for state and federal workers, then you should be able to move Halloween around so that it's convenient for
your pursuit
children.
Of candy.
Yeah.
Yeah. See? We see you alike on that one issue. 8:10, Aaron Taylor joining us shortly to talk about what he's got going on over there at Crossfire, and news upcoming next on 1120 KPNW.
Burrito Amigos is a big deal when it comes to big meals. Have you ever gone through ordering or putting together a big lunch or breakfast at the office, maybe a school or civic organization? It's a hassle. A lot of times, if you're feeding a large group, you have to go off a limited special menu, and you also have to pay a big special price, and you have to order it a month in advance. Then there's the extra charge for warming trays and chafing dishes. You get the picture. Here's the way Burrito Amigos works it. You can order anything you want to off of their menu. They'll loan you the chafing dishes and warming trays, and you can get up to 500 burritos with just a couple of days' notice. You can walk in the day of and order 50 burritos. Burrito Amigos will make sure you get what you want so you can have it the way you want it. Give Larry at Burrito Amigos a call, and he'll make sure you look good while Burrito Amigos does all the work. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield. They take the big hassle out of big orders, so you're the big hero. Burrito Amigos.
Get on down to your local Kubota dealer today, where the deals have never been hotter on new Kubota tractors. You can get low payments of up to 84 months with 0% APR, incredible customer rebates, and a 6-year limited powertrain warranty on new BX, B, L, and MX tractors. There have never, ever been deals like this. Now through December 31st, 2016. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about costs and terms. For complete warranty details, see Kubota.com or your authorized Kubota dealer. See Mid-Valley Tractor on Highway 99. Great prices, great products from people you can trust.
Brad's Cottage Grove Chevy GMC. Friendly people who treat you right.
Oregon's game Megabucks jackpot is over $5 million. Buy yours today.
We're all part of your community.
We all play a role in keeping our community safe.
So protect your everyday.
If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
News, information, 24/7 on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
It's the big happenings in the Valley and the state.
This is the Wake Up Call on 1120 KPNW with Bill London.
Trick or beer? Okay, I was just trying that out just to see if maybe that would work. Ow. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. On Halloween, you might just, go through the drive-thru and say, trick or burrito. So it's worth a try. Here's what's going on. A Florence man is accused of sexually abusing his girlfriend's teenage granddaughter after offering them, believe it or not, $100 each to model for him in his apartment. The new documents in the case against Randy Clay were unsealed in Lane County Circuit Court. Clay had signed a contract for the modeling job that said he could take photos of the girls ages 13 and 16. Court documents say he later amended the agreement to say the girls could drink alcohol with him and watch R-rated movies. The alleged sexual assault took place in August after Clay photographed the girls in what police described as sexually suggestive poses and positions. The girls' mother notified authorities after finding the photos. Clay's November trial on sex abuse charges was canceled last month. It is yet to be rescheduled. A woman returning home from a shopping trip got a shock. Two strangers were in her home. Happened just after 1:30 yesterday on Lemming Avenue and Margaret Street. Police said a woman tried to open her front door and then realized someone had locked it from the inside. The woman ran to a neighbor's home and called police. Police said the suspects kicked through the front door to get inside. They arrested the suspects, who were described as a man and a woman. Lane County's unemployment rate fell slightly to 5.7% in September, down from 5.9% in August. Seasonally adjusted non-farm employment in Lane County went up to 157,200. That's up about 700 from August. Lane County's labor market got a boost in September from back-to-school related employment and perhaps an early start on hiring for the holiday shopping season. The county's unemployment rate was likely affected by students returning to school and no longer looking for work, and a slowdown in the number of job-seeking people moving into Lane County. A suspect in the armed robbery of a motel in Portland led police on a dangerous pursuit yesterday morning. Brad Ford has those details.
After robbing the Aladdin Motor Inn near Southwest 30th and Barber Boulevard, the suspect got into a minivan that was pursued by police. Jim Wolf with Tigard Police says the minivan hit several cars.
Shots were being fired from the suspect vehicle.
Portland Police and Tigard Police were involved in the pursuit that ended on Lower Boones Ferry Road near I-5. The suspect ran and was shot. Portland Police Sergeant Pete Simpson.
It's really remarkable that nobody was injured at all today besides the suspect.
There were children and another adult in the car. The suspect was hospitalized with non-life-threatening injuries. Brad Ford, KPNW.
KPNW News Time is 8:15. Well, it was a major premise of the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, that if you insured people that didn't have insurance, they would stop going to emergency rooms. And the theory was that that would bring down the cost of health care in the United States. Well, guess what? Somebody did a study of that, and they did it right here in Oregon. It was a study of Medicaid patients who got Medicaid or received it for the first time in 2008. And it was even referred to as the Oregon Health Insurance Experiment. And what they found was that patients' ER use stayed high over 2 years after they gained health insurance coverage through Medicaid, even as they also increased their visits to doctors' offices.
But it means the program is expensive. People were more likely to go to the doctor's office and get prescription drugs. They were also more likely to go to the hospital. And I think surprising to a lot of people, they were much more likely to go to the emergency department. It's not just that past use of the emergency department continued in the same way. When people got Medicaid, emergency department use jumped by about 40%.
Dr. Kate Biker of Harvard was one of the lead researchers on the study. She says folks have and had a definite misperception about health care.
What insurance does is make health care more affordable. And when you take something that was very expensive and make it free, people use more of it. So we weren't so surprised that people use the emergency department more and the doctor more and prescription drugs more. There might have been a misperception that because the emergency department can't turn away uninsured people just because they can't pay, that somehow the emergency department is free.
Although expensive, expanding Medicaid insurance may have savings, according to the study, in other areas. For instance, the increased use of preventative services that could help ward off problems that would become more expensive later. Federal prosecutors' case against the armed occupiers of an Oregon wildlife refuge hit a bump yesterday when a juror questioned the impartiality of another person on the panel. Jurors sent a pair of notes to the judge indicating they were having a difficulty reaching a consensus after 3 days of deliberations. In one note, a member of the panel said a fellow juror called himself very biased. The writer asked the judge whether that juror, a former employee of the U.S. Bureau of Land Management, could even be considered impartial. The federal agency manages the National Wildlife Refuge, or the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, near Burns. That's the remote site that Ammon Bundy and his followers took over for 41 days this winter. During questioning last month before the trial, the juror said he worked at the agency for more than 20 years as a range tech and firefighter. U.S. District Judge Anna Brown and representatives from the prosecution and defense met in chambers with the juror whose impartiality had been questioned. Brown questioned him and said she found no signs of bias. She left him on the jury and sent the panel home for the day. When the defense attorneys objected, Brown gave them until this morning to find case law that would support further questioning of the juror or the panel member that was concerned about the impartiality. Oregon Health Sciences University in Portland is starting a 10-year study to learn how the developing brains of children are affected by their environment. Brad Ford has the details.
OHSU is one of 19 facilities across the country that'll follow 10,000 children as they grow up.
To really evaluate how kids' brains develop throughout the course of childhood and adolescence.
OHSU psychiatrist Sarah Feldstein-Ewing says kids stop growing in high school, but their brains continue to develop until the mid-20s. This study will look at how brain development is affected by all factors.
Exposure to TV and different kinds of handheld electronics and different sports injuries.
Children will be interviewed twice a year, and they'll get occasional MRIs to monitor how their brains change over time. OHSU will enroll 500 kids in the study locally. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Coos County's district attorney is asking a judge to put a Coquille man accused of raping a young girl back in jail after he was ordered released pending trial. Frank Noakes is charged with several sex abuse charges and was released on his own recognizance in September. Court documents say a girl under the age of 14 reported that Noakes sexually assaulted her twice in June. In one incident, she described having to kick him off her to get him to stop. District Attorney Paul Frazier filed a motion to revoke Noakes' release after police reported that he made unlawful contact with the mother of the alleged victim. The mother told police she had been at Noakes' home to, quote, discuss something he was unable to in jail. The judge is going to consider Frazier's motion on Monday. Authorities say the search for a missing hunter in the southwest Oregon wilderness is now suspended. Curry County Sheriff John Ward said in a news conference that the extensive ground search for 41-year-old Sean Higgins of Coos Bay was officially suspended Tuesday. He said searchers have found no signs, clues, or indication of where Higgins might be in the vast, rugged search area. Higgins and his 21-year-old son, Trevor, were reported missing October 14th after they failed to meet up with a relative while hunting. Trevor was found by search crews last Tuesday over 2 miles from where he entered the woods between Grants Pass and Gold Beach. Ward said he was taken to a hospital with severe hypothermia, but he did survive. Crews of up to 100 people participated in that search. 3 family members who ran strip clubs in Portland have been sentenced to prison for evading taxes. Brad Ford has the details.
Daniel David and George Carraz ran two strip clubs called Cabaret. They were convicted in May of conspiracy to defraud the IRS. They kept two sets of books, one for their accountant and the other they kept at home. They used the scheme to hide $1.5 million from the IRS. They avoided paying $650,000 in taxes. Both David and George Carraz were sentenced to 3 years in prison with an additional 3 years of supervised release. They also have to repay $650,000 in restitution. Daniel Carraz will serve 1 year in prison and has to pay more than $125,000 in restitution. Brad Ford, KPNW.
Well, a new Gallup Healthways survey has ranked 190 U.S. communities by the percentage of residents who reported ever having a heart attack. Boulder, Colorado, and Ann Arbor, Michigan tied for the smallest percentage of residents who ever had a heart attack. Only 1.3% of residents in both communities ever reported having one. Charleston, West Virginia came in last on the list with the highest percentage at 8.8%. Tallahassee, Florida was also in the top 5 with only 1.5%. Provo-Urim, Utah at 1.6%. And Austin, Round Rock, Texas at 1.8%. And no, Oregon did not make the top 10 list. Sorry. 8:22, this look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones here on KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Game 1 of the World Series out of Cleveland, all tribe. Indians pitcher Corey Kluber recorded an MLB record, striking out 8 Cub batters in the first 3 innings. Bob Gibson, Randy Johnson, and Orlando Hernandez, they KO'd 7, never 8. It's a new MLB record. Kluber left 3 innings later with another strikeout, a total of 4 hits, giving up no runs. Chicago Cubs never got going at the plate, managing 7 hits, but no runs. Meanwhile, Cleveland catcher Roberto Perez jacked 2 home runs in the 9 spot. That's never been done in a World Series. In the end, it's all Cleveland. 6-zip. Game 2 tonight, again out of Cleveland. Maybe another surprise in the NBA. This out of Oaktown, the Golden State Warrior All-Star team. They won't go 24-0. They got manhandled by the San Antonio Spurs, 129-100. San Antonio's Kawhi Leonard scored a career-high 35. The Warriors, not sharp, missing lay-ins and threes, but don't throw in the towel. It's a long season, Warrior fans. Warriors didn't win their first game, but the Portland Trailblazers did. They're used to that. They've won 16 consecutive home openers, turning out the Utah Jazz 113-104. Steve Kerr said he thinks Damian Lillard will win this year's MVP award. Lillard might have used that as ammunition to turn in an MVP-esque performance, going for 39 points. LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers swatted around the Knicks 117-88. King James with his 43rd career triple-double. They always say don't advertise that you're going on vacation by posting Facebook photos of you in Mexico. Kind of hard not to advertise that you're not home when you're playing in an NFL game for all to see on Monday night. Denver Bronco DeMarcus Ware had his house burglarized Monday while he was playing the Houston Texans. Among the things that were ripped off, his Super Bowl ring. Wake Up Call Sports brought to you by Max Muscle. Where's your finish line? Set a goal, make a plan, get results. Max Muscle on Franklin across from Market of Choice. News time, 8:25.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We've had a warm front move in overnight, bringing moderate showers most of the night, and we're still seeing them off and on this morning, and they will continue throughout the day. Otherwise, mostly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10, and a few gusts up to 15. This afternoon, we'll see the warm front move up into Washington State, but the cold front's not far behind it. Well, we will get a break from the showers around noon into the afternoon. Late in the afternoon, that returns. The cold front starts to sweep in. That means mostly cloudy skies continue. Highs in the upper 50s to low 60s. Winds will shift to the south at 5 to 10, and we could see gusts on the coast as high as 30 or 35. We're also looking at about 3/4 of an inch of rain. Already saw about a half inch tonight, and there are more showers to come. The problem is the jet stream continuously bringing more and more storm systems towards us. Latest data suggests we're looking at a storm system about every 24 to 36 hours for the next several days and right into the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, saying don't forget your umbrella and have a great day.
does your home or business have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Discover why Ramjack is the only foundation company you'll ever need. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Choose Ramjack. CCV 146906.
50 cents doesn't get you much these days, but at Garrity, 50 cents is all you need. This is Shannon Nill, your discount dealer at Garrity in Junction City. We first opened our doors exactly 50 years ago, and on behalf of the Nill family, a heartfelt thanks for all the support for the past 5 decades. Now, we're throwing a huge party, and you're getting all the gifts. During Garrity's 50 Ways to Save celebration, you can buy a dozen farm fresh eggs for just 50 cents, with all the money raised going to local 4-H kids. Plus, you can buy a car, truck, motorhome, or trailer with a down payment of just 50 cents. And select motorhomes are discounted $50,000. Complete details are at Garrity.com. It's a 50-year tradition. Eggs are cheaper in the country, and so are good cars, trucks, motorhomes, and trailers. But that's only at Garrity, 5 minutes north of the Eugene Airport in Junction City.
All credit on approved Tier 1 credit. 50-cent down payment valid on purchases up to $100,000. See dealer for restrictions and list of vehicles qualifying for $50,000 discount off MSRP.
My dad was my high school wrestling coach, and he told me you never give up, no matter what the score. That's how I approach the tough fights in Congress.
Most people in Congress talk a good game, but don't get things done. Not Peter DeFazio. He delivers. Every day he gets up and fights for Oregon workers and their families.
I'm fighting big corporations who want tax breaks while they ship jobs overseas. I voted against NAFTA and every unfair trade agreement under Clinton, Bush, and Obama. And I've pushed for Buy American legislation to require the federal government to purchase products made in the U.S.
Peter DeFazio, a top wrestler in high school. He's a fighter, taking on big corporations that care more about profits than people, and Wall Street bankers who crashed our economy. Peter DeFazio is in our corner, fighting to hold them all accountable.
I'm Peter DeFazio, candidate for Congress, and I approve this message because if my wrestling opponents couldn't pin me, corporate America's not going to have any better luck.
Paid for by DeFazio for Congress.
The holidays are right around the corner. If you are just starting out or if you need help staying on track, stop in and talk to a certified nutritionist, not a salesperson. We design a nutrition plan specifically for you. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over 400 businesses on West 6th, 7th, and 11th? Yeah, 400. That includes plenty of motels. Maybe it's your year to host the family reunion and you don't have enough beds. Or your buddies are coming in for the weekend to cheer on the Ducks. And when were your in-laws arriving for that visit? Well, they just may have to stay at a motel. Whatever the reason, if you've got extra people in town, take them down to West 6th, 7th, and 11th in Eugene. Go west, sleepy people. Go west.
It never rains when the wake-up call takes to the air. News Radio 1120 KPNW.
KPNW 829. Welcome into the final half hour of a Wednesday go-round. Final half hour of my week on the AM dial. Rain today and slick. Just to let you know, if you're coming in from different routes, the 126 situation has been resolved. Highway 58 has been resolved. Everything else we don't know about. So if you see anything upon your travels, let us know. And we will pass it on.
We have this for you. That is avoid the area near the Lane County Courthouse, in particular 8th Avenue and Pearl Avenue. So avoid East 8th and Pearl because somebody has located a suspicious device near the Lane County Courthouse. And so as a result, the forces have been called out, the forces of good, and they're out there dealing with said suspicious.
8th and Pearl is a concern?
It says, avoid the area of East 8th and Pearl Avenue.
So, okay. That's a little bit different than the courthouse. It's a couple blocks away, but okay. There you go.
Well, the courthouse is at 125 East 8th.
Right.
All right. So.
And then you go.
Apparently, they've got a lot of people down there.
Okay.
If you would like to call the police department and confirm that with them, you may do so.
KPNW, good morning.
Yeah, I'm sitting at the corner of Pearl and 8th. So Pearl's open, 8th to the east is open, but it's blocked going west at 8th and Pearl.
Going west.
Yeah, going west. So you can go, Pearl's open, but you can't proceed west at Pearl and 8th. It's
Gotcha.
blocked across Pearl or across 8th Street.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, and there's the bomb squad right there. Look at that.
All right, are they doing anything interesting?
Getting play-by-play.
No, I'm trying to drive too, so don't try to quiz me on what's going on.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So, well, make sure that while you're driving, you're in the duck and cover position.
Yes, I will. I'm past the danger zone now, so I'm good. So,
Okay,
all right.
Because we were concerned about you.
I can tell you were. Yes, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
All
Thanks,
righty.
thanks for the call.
Yeah, thanks
You
for the
bet.
play-by-play.
One of our road rangers there.
You can be a road ranger too. 541-485-KPNW 888 KPNW 888.
We really need to work on getting the sombreros for the road rangers.
While we have a moment, I want to throw this out there, and I don't know that I've ever done this before in any capacity when it comes to something political, where I think it's to the point where we need to have folks that know how to communicate and know kind of what's going on and know the seriousness of this 97 to have a conversation with other people that might be either confused or not really paying attention. It's to the point where I think if you're not freaked out about it and the potential of what this will do to our state, it is a dire situation that we're looking at. I think about the folks that I have talked to, and I've heard people say things like, that's not true, or that's a lie, or I don't know where you're coming up with that information. I'm talking to a lot of people, economic, financial type people that are in the know, business owners that have done the research, that knows firsthand what's going to happen and how it's not only going to affect them, but going to affect the people that come in and ultimately going to affect their business. The Pro 97 crew that I see, they're throwing out the whole, stick it to the huge corporations. There's a lot of glittering cliches, a lot of things that are pretty broad out there. When it comes to specifics, that's where, the against 97 crew, the anti-crew comes in there with, hey, we're looking at $600 per family.
That's according to the Legislative Review Office, by the way, a nonpartisan group that is charged with giving accurate facts and statistics to the Oregon legislature. All right? That's the state saying that.
And you'll hear, well, hey, schools need help. Our kids need help. They need a better situation. Granted, yes. But when you look at the broad strokes that this measure was created in and around, this is not the way to go about it. This is going to have, this should pass, and it should freak everybody out at the potential of this going through. We're going to look back and go, okay, that company left. And when you look at the $600 per family, you can't, if you lose your job because your workplace either folds or goes, skips town and goes to a different state, that's more than $600.
Well, Doug Feldkamp yesterday was talking about it. Doug Feldkamp.
Umpqua Dairy.
Yeah. He and his brother Steve own the family-owned business, Umpqua Dairy. And their profit margin hovers at about 1%. Okay? And the way that 97 is written is this is not a tax on profits. This is a total receipts tax, gross receipts. So before anybody even has a chance to look at profits, it automatically skims 2.5% right off the top. That's more than their profit margin. Okay, and this is not some big out-of-state corporation. This is not Comcast. No, we're talking about a dairy out of Roseburg. We're talking Powell's Books in Portland saying the same thing. And let's take one of those biggies that keeps getting brought up, Kroger. And this number keeps getting thrown around of, well, they made well over $1 billion profit last year, $1.2 billion in profit. Okay. How much do they have to sell to make that $1 billion in profit? That profit was based on $108 billion in total sales. If you do the math on the whole thing, their profit margin is about 1.7%. Now, we get this argument of, well, the pricing is done nationally, and they're not going to raise the prices just in Oregon just because we have this little 2.5% tax. Well, no, but they are a national corporation. So if you have a store or stores that are not meeting the profit margin, what do you think they're going to do with those stores? And if you need a hint, I'll throw out a couple of names: Macy's, JCPenney's, Sears, Kmart. Now think about that for a second. Oh, and Nordstrom's. Think about that for a second. What do they all have in common? They started closing stores that were not profitable. So if they're not going to raise the prices, they're going to close the stores. Now, question, what does that mean? Other than, well, you can't get their superior chicken strips. What it means is that those people that work at said stores will suddenly find themselves without a gig. If they're not going to raise the prices, they'll close the non-profitable stores. I'll give you another example. Safeway and Albertsons. So think about that for a second. If you're taking 2.5% right off the top on all the gross receipts of everything that they sell, everything that they move, and that's just assuming, by the way, that is their only cost. Because you've got to figure, for instance, if they're selling Campbell's soup, and Campbell's soup is selling more than $25 million worth of soup in the state, guess what? You think Campbell's soup is not going to pass that along to Freddy's? Start taking it. I mean, this whole thing, they call it pyramiding. And it's just a tax stacked on top of a tax, on top of a tax, on top of a tax. Legislative Review Office. They said that the pyramiding could be anywhere between 3 to 5 times before it gets to the end user. So 2.5% plus 2.5% on top of 2.5% upon 2.5% upon 2.5%, and then it gets to you, said consumer. Unless, of course, you're an electricity company, you're a utility like PGE or Pacific Power or eWeb, and you just pass the 2.5% on down the line to your end user. That's your customers. PGE, Pacific Power, I don't know about eWeb, but they have already said to the PUC, the Public Utility Commission, they're going to raise their prices. They've already said that. They're already going forward, and they're saying, if this passes, we will raise our prices. To which the Yes on 97 folks say, well, we can go back and get their deferred taxes. Well, so what? Well, good luck on that. You go ahead. Go back after their deferred taxes. They're still going to charge you more.
We won't look at a sales tax seriously, but we'll look at this debacle of a measure. Retailers, and we're talking, grocery, medicine, clothing, as a whole world would see total taxes jump from $70 million to $600 million. It'll cost you, your family, $613 in higher costs throughout the year. And we're talking about the largest tax increase in Oregon history. When everything is boiled down and to see everybody that's affected, it's not only a game changer, a game ender for a lot of people.
And you can also a comparator, if you want an analogy, state of Washington, they have what's called their B&O tax, which is the same type of thing. All right. There are some differences. Like, for instance, they don't tax wholesalers. But, of course, Oregon is going to do that. And you want to know how much, when you extract the sales tax, because they also have a sales tax there, you extract the sales tax away from it. In other words, what you pay when you go to the cash register to buy your gallon of milk or whatever it is you're buying, prices in Washington are approximately 4.8% higher right now than they are in Oregon. That's not including the sales tax you pay at the cash register. So, you know, if you think anyone that says, oh, that's a lie, that's not true, prices will not go up because they do this national pricing. All right? Here's what I will tell you. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, the USDA, and the census all track thousands of consumer prices across the country. The USDA and the Bureau of Labor Statistics do it specifically because of food stamps, the SNAP cards. And it's based on those state-by-state prices for groceries that they decide how much residents in those states will receive in food stamps. Yes, it varies from state to state. Why? Because prices vary from state to state. They follow those. Every single state, they follow consumer prices. And the prices vary from state to state. They vary from Oregon to Washington, from Oregon to Idaho, from Oregon to California, all across the country. And that's why that recipients of food stamps in some states make more than Oregon or get more than Oregon. And it's why folks in Oregon get more than some other states. It's because of pricing variations. To say that the prices are set nationally and that they don't vary state to state is really a stretch of credibility.
If the 38,000 jobs lost doesn't hit you, this might hit you. This might put you over the edge. Measure 97 would be responsible for 17,000 government jobs, additional government jobs. One study came out, said that it will help fund 30,000 new government jobs over the next 10 years. And state jobs are almost twice the cost of private sector jobs, which create a large lifelong bill for Oregonians to pay.
So
30,000 jobs.
So what it is a union recruitment bill as well.
If you're not having a conversation with at least a couple of people a day, you need to, because it's past the point of like, okay, it was cute in the beginning. This is serious. This is not, hyperbole. This is not trying to get emotional, get people to listen to the show. This is dangerous.
This is real life. All right. And this is a real life thing that you, if you're a voting age, get to make a decision on. And something to keep in mind, all of those extra government employees are going to need PERS. Oh, yeah, wait. Aren't they $22 billion in unfunded liabilities at this point? Yeah. And that number is going up. Just a thought.
845.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. It's the second day of losses for stocks. Apple forecast holiday sales that barely topped analyst estimates, deflating expectations the iPhone maker would benefit from Samsung's weakness in the smartphone market. Snack giant Mondelez posted quarterly earnings that beat estimates, helped by higher prices and a $3 billion cost-cutting plan. The Oreo and Triscuit maker has been hurt, though, by currency fluctuations and a slowdown in Europe. McDonald's has figured out how to capitalize on the popularity of its breakfast breakfast menu and stop a slide in same-store sales. What it hasn't figured out is how to get more customers into its restaurants. McDonald's is facing its fourth straight year of traffic declines in the U.S. That's according to internal company documents. AT&T set a price of $35 a month for a new online streaming TV service with 100 channels or more, and the company may experiment with a la carte programming, giving customers choice on what channels they want to watch. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
the one means no matter what the problem.
From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric. So their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
It's time for Discount Windows Win-Win Sale, Lee.
I remember that one, Vic. Customers win by receiving 10% off our professional installation, and we win by keeping our install team busy all year long.
That's right, Lee. Folks, at Discount Windows, get 10% off your window installation booked through the end of January.
10% off our already competitive install prices. That really is a sweet deal.
Discount Windows carries energy-rated windows that may be eligible for a rebate from your utility company.
We're doing our part to help lower your monthly utility bills.
Don't miss Discount Windows Win-Win Sale.
Hurry win!
Don't miss Discount Windows Win-Win Sale. Highway 99, Junction City. Open 7 days a week. Only Flyjet windows are eligible for 10% off installation. See store for details.
Discount Windows. We do windows,
doors,
and installation for less.
CCB 180018.
Those ads pushing a yes vote on Measure 97's tax on sales remind me of an old saying.
Oh, yeah? Which one?
That if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Oh, you mean because the ads promoting 97 try to make people believe putting a tax on sales won't increase consumer costs?
Yeah. 97 would put this huge new $6 billion state tax on sales of food, gas, electricity, medicine, and almost everything else.
And the state of Oregon's own study showed 97's tax would cost a typical family like ours $600 a year.
Right. And the ads pushing 97 also want us to believe the money would go to education.
Yeah, well, we've heard that one before, huh?
Yes, we have. And the truth is, since 97 is not a constitutional amendment, the politicians could just spend the money however they want, as usual.
Well, that's another good reason to vote no on Measure 97's $6 billion tax on sales.
Agreed. No on 97.
Paid for by Defeat the Tax on Oregon Sales.
I'm home, honey.
In the den.
Are you sick?
No. I'm rehearsing.
What?
It's almost flu season. We need a flu drill. I'm going first.
Oh, you are something.
Could you rub my feet, change the TV channel, and bring me some pistachios and a beer?
Jerry.
Use the ice-cold mug in the freezer.
There is no need for a flu drill.
This is going to be a bad flu season.
Yeah, but we're not going to get the flu.
Like you can prevent that. The goddess of good health, huh?
No, I'm the one who scheduled flu shots for all of us.
You nuts. If we get the actual flu shot, we'll get the flu.
That is an old wives' tale. They no longer use the live virus. It's synthetic. We get the shot, and we remember to wash our hands and take other precautions. And we stay healthy and help stop the spread of germs.
Well, you and the kids do it. I'm not getting any shots.
Okay, then you just stay by yourself in the treehouse.
Treehouse?
Yeah, until flu season's over.
Okay, just don't hide the ladder this year.
We'll see.
This message is brought to you by Ears, because the Eugene area radio stations believe that supporting a healthy community makes a strong community.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. We had a warm front bring moderate showers to the region overnight. Already picked up about a ½ inch, and I'm still tracking a few isolated showers off and on, and they look to continue throughout your day. Right now, we've got mostly cloudy skies. Temps are in the upper 40s to low 50s, with winds out of the northeast at 5 to 10, few gusts up to 15, and we do see those shower activities continuing into your afternoon. Now, the warm front will push up into Washington, but we're already seeing the cold front not far behind that. That means a 90% chance of showers this afternoon, kicking back into the evening. Otherwise, highs will be in the upper 50s to low 60s, 62 here in downtown. Wind shifts south at 5 to 10. A few gusts up to 15 this afternoon. We are looking at gusts of about 30 to 35 on the coast once the cold front moves on shore. But it's going to be a slow-moving cold front. That means showers tonight and then a good portion of tomorrow. Now, we're locked into this pattern because the jet stream arcs down almost to the equator, then comes back up the west coast. And the jet stream is basically the highway system that keeps bringing storm systems to us every 24 to 36 hours. The latest data suggests this wet pattern looks to continue right into your weekend and early next week. Simply put, grab your umbrella. You're probably going to need it. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, the NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
I think we all just need to kind of about face it, head back to the bedroom and throw the covers over, jump on that Tempur-Pedic or the Sealy, whatever bed you got going, and say, you know what, I'm just going to have a 3 or 4 hour siesta. Doesn't that sound incredible? Sleep Train, best rest sale ending soon, and we're talking about a great deal where you can get $200 in bonus cash when you elevate. Just think about that. Elevate, move your comfort with the movable base. And if you've never explored a movable base, get to a Sleep Train near you. 4 years interest-free financing on the best-selling Tempur-Pedic and Beauty Rest Black mattress sets. No money down. For credit, cost, and terms, and to talk to a nice person, 866-780-6220. Subject to credit approval. Best rest. It's available on the other side of the path when you hit Sleep Train in Eugene, Springfield, Corvallis, and Salem. And tell them you're like this with the wake-up call.
Whoop-dee-doo, whoop-dee-doo. I hear a polka and my troubles are through.
That concludes the musical portion of our program. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
The Wake Up Call with Holloway and London on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I would say a polka would be the advice, or having Aaron Taylor come in and just switch the subject.
Before we have you on, Aaron, again, that area around the courthouse, East 8th Avenue, things are clearing up there, but they're still out there. What I'm getting right now from the police department is they're still looking at something suspicious near the courthouse.
But apparently Pearl is open.
Right. East 8th Avenue,
8th
though,
and Pearl.
around the area of said suspicious device is still blocked.
There you go.
So
okay.
be careful.
Hey, Aaron from Crossfire, welcome back.
You're going to switch from 97 to me that fast?
Yeah, that fast, man. That fast.
And then I see your hat. It says, Tax Oregon again. No.
Make Oregon great again.
Make Oregon great again. Oh, well, I think we do that by taxing, right?
You think so? You think that's what we ought to do?
Let's get off that and act like there's something great going on right now.
So who are you provocating? Every time we have in here, because you are the agent provocateur.
Hey, we have stuff going on all the time.
What is going on right now?
We got the Harvest Party coming up. I know a lot of churches are doing their Harvest Party, their annual stuff. But I brought my kids in. They're a little late for school today. They want to be on the radio because they believe that the Harvest Party is awesome, and we get tons of...
Yeah, party.
We get a party.
And we get tons of candy.
Candy. So every year, we do a lot of... I brought Eva and Maverick in. We do a whole lot of fundraising, and we have our thrift store now, and so that all goes to our feeding programs and all of our different things. We like to do some stuff just free for the community, for the kids. And
so when's
one of it is the Harvest Party.
When is it?
We do one at South Eugene, at our South Eugene campus, every, the 30th, which is Sunday night. And then on Halloween, we offer an alternative to celebrating Halloween and come in and have a harvest party. We ask for non-evil costumes, but we don't turn people away as long as they're safe costumes.
What about clowns? Are you allowing clowns?
I'm allowing clowns. I only do that because I'd like you to be able to attend. And, if you don't dress up, we know you're coming. And
That's a bird.
Bird!
Got ya.
So, we try to do things that give back. And, yesterday I sat with a family as...
Of clowns?
No, I wish it was a family of clowns. It was a family. They've been clean for 30 days. They last night got their son taken away, and they're really trying. We've given them a place on our On Your Feet program to live, and she's pregnant. They've been clean 30 days, and the husband said, he's 33. He said, since high school, I've never been clean for more than a week. And he took it back and he goes, well, except for when I was in prison. And for 30 days they've been clean, and I've never seen anyone try so hard. I mean, they are really trying. And, you know, you got to help people and give them, you know, and I'm not, I mean, they're trying to protect the children. It's the right thing. I'm just telling you, there's a lot of heartache in our community, a lot of bad decisions that compound upon bad decisions. And, you know, somebody needs to reach out and help them. We've got a lot of great organizations and things that are, and we just want to be a part of that. And we're able to help this family get on their feet, hopefully restore their children to them in a healthy place, a healthy environment for them and their children. And that's what we do at Crossfire. This harvest party is just kind of a celebration of all the great things that we're able to do all year long, and gives the kids an alternative from going door to door to, I mean, my son's like, can we go, you know, trick-or-treating? And I'm like, dude, I'm scared what's behind that door and in that candy. And this gives a safe environment to come, and, you know, thousands of people come in and out during our harvest parties, and it's a lot of fun.
Campus location on the 30th, right?
No, Springfield. So we have the Springfield campus. We basically got our churches and turn them in to the coolest, biggest party, and it's all free. We take 55 gallons of candy, throw it on the floor, let the kids lay on their back. They get to pick up the candy. There's games. There's, you know, they can win toys and prizes and all kinds of great stuff.
Okay, we got a minute left. What else is going on at Crossfire that people need to know about?
Oh, you know, there's so much. You just have to have
boil it down to
day, you know,
top two.
The biggest thing is right now we have our thrift store that we're on Mohawk next to Bimart. We've acquired in the last 6 months, and we're using that to open up a feeding center in the back. We didn't need donations. We need people to shop. We need people to volunteer, sort clothes, so we can open up our new feeding center where we feed every Thursday right now at the church from noon to 4. We want to be able to do that more often and actually be open more often to help families that are struggling. And I'm going to tell you, it's low-income families that actually have jobs that are struggling because they're overtaxed. Just my little part. And, you know, it's expensive to live today.
Okay. Thank you, Aaron. Aaron with Crossfire. That's it for us. We got to say au revoir. See you tomorrow at 6:05.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
When I listen to Audible, I'm not cooking dinner for one. I'm on horseback, galloping across the Scottish moors towards my one true love. There, through the mist, I see my beloved, kilt flapping in the breeze. The fibers of his shirt struggle against his bulging muscles as he takes me from my horse and my frittata.
Go to audible.com/act now, and your first download is free. Audible, stories that surround you.
Hi, Mike here with some info on West Eugene. Did you know there are over